Cheers. Clink, clink. I would get there.
Everybody touch cans. There we go.
That's a soundbite.
Nailed it.
Hey, I'm Bob.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Andrew.
And we are
Nailed It, the podcast.
As you heard, our friend Andrew is here sitting in. We have not had a guest in the room for quite some time. So,
When was the last time we had
Chris.
a guest? Was it
Our
Chris?
friend, Our mutual friend Chris Sheeler,
Yeah.
which was, I believe, our first episode this year. So back in January.
It's about time.
Or February.
Really?
Yeah, we've been busy.
We have been.
We've been busy with band stuff, and we've been busy with summertime, get in the way of our recording schedule. But we like having guests here. It's tends to be a lot more fun. And as we had discussed just a little bit pre-show, we don't know you as well as most of the guests we bring on, so we get to actually hear new things.
I know,
new
we actually get to
stories.
like discuss things and not just reminisce about y'all's olden
Okay,
days.
Here we go. Yeah. Are you complaining? You
No.
get to sit for an hour and just learn
I get
from
to
old guys.
Just listen.
It's fine. It's fine. So, I know you from a couple different things. We know you from a couple different things. Notably, obviously, I would. What would you say your first, your main project is? Would it be Roommates or would it be?
Yeah, so I spun up Millennial Mixtape before joining the Roommates.
Gotcha.
But Roommates is way busier. It's my bread and butter right now. It's a busy band, 60 plus gigs a year.
I can see that.
You scale up and down. A lot of times it's Allie and I as an acoustic duo kind of config. Oftentimes we're a trio with drums, and then sometimes we scale up to a full band with bass, sometimes even including saxophone.
Now that is the way. Now I just recently, the other week, saw you as a 4-piece, but I knew just from socials and stuff, I knew you broke down in a duo and stuff, which we do too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great just business model for a cover band.
And it really is, because you don't have to. For a long time, the name Nailed It for the podcast came from our band, which was called Nailed It because that was the joke. You know, the songs were just spot on, nailed them every time. And we just, as he joined Ghostlight, and then our bass player Dave, who was also in Nailed It, joined Ghostlight, there seemed no reason to continue that. And my thought was, why are we not promoting when you play solo or duos or whatever we do? Why are we not promoting that as an arm of the band? It just makes more sense.
Yep. Yeah, it gets you into more rooms. Just spreads the word more. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, Roommates, kind of the priority right now. Millennial is my passion project because I started that band with some friends, of course, but I've kind of been managing it and running it.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I've known that feeling for a long time.
leader.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. What else?
Oh, now you of course did our first encounter was the little bit of tribute thing with Ed, although you had done that as a full band at least once, correct?
Yeah. So we met in person.
Yeah.
At Jen's. You put together that
Oddly attended acoustic thing. But yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, acoustic tribute. You guys did some Green Day.
Yep.
Breaking Benjamin,
and Ed Allison and I did Human Clay Creed tribute. So yeah, we did that full band up at JB Love Drafts, which is no longer there, right?
Yeah, and they've since shuttered that and moved all their operations to Capital City Music Hall. So,
yeah,
which I have not been to yet, but I hear it's a pretty solid venue.
Yeah, and it was with that tribute show. That was like a one-off thing. Now 2-off because we did the
acoustic
duo thing. But that's where I also met Tim Yinger and your drummer, right? Jimmy.
Yeah,
Tim played drums for that.
Yeah, Jimmy and Tim and I go way back. We were in multiple bands together years and years ago when Jake was still in diapers. At some point, it always comes up how young you are.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure him and I are probably closer in age than you and
absolutely. I am old enough to be everyone's dad in this room. Apparently, it's fine. I've known those guys forever. We were Timmy and Jimmy and I were in a band called Johnny Chimpo for years before they went off to be in bands together. And in fact, I like to tell people the story that Ed hired Tim because I told him he should try Tim out. Ed said, I need a bass player. I'm putting a band together, full band. I'm like, well, I know a guy. I don't know if I'm sure he's into it. I don't know if he's your thing. Well, yeah, and Ed knew Tim, but he's like, oh, we'll see. Now I have to turn gigs down in the tribute because Tim's too busy with Lyndhurst.
Oh.
So, which isn't a bad thing. I love those guys.
Oh yeah, they're coming out. They're dropping a new song tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I let it go as time. Every time Ed knows this. Every time they put something out like a week ahead, I'm hitting him or Tim like, you want to send it to me a while?
Yeah.
Why don't you let me hear that early? And the
preview.
joke there is because when they put out their first album, it released on Spotify like 2 weeks early because of some mistake, and Ed didn't know. So I was sitting here in the office in the studio one night. And I'm like, hey, this popped up. I'm going to listen to it. Like, this is awesome. I wasn't expecting to hear this yet. And I sent Tim a message. I'm like, dude, this album's good. And he's like, oh, did Ed let you hear it? I'm like, no. Why? I just listened to Spotify. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, it's up. He goes, dude, that's not supposed to be up yet. He goes, hold, don't tell anybody. Hold. And he got back to me. He's like, yeah, Ed's pissed. He said, he asked, just don't let anybody know you listen to it, that it's there. But he said, thanks for the compliments. I'm like, yeah. So now every time since they put out the repeat, anytime they're going to put a single out, I'm like, you can send that my way. We're not doing that anymore, man. Like, it's fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've actually avoided his little social media, commercials for that. Anything, I just turn the audio off because I know he's playing part of the song. I want full
start fresh.
Yeah, I want full fresh tomorrow morning when I get in the car. I'm gonna look. That's the first I'm gonna listen to. So.
I was just about to say the same thing. That'll be my drive to work.
Well, that takes you about as long as one song to get to work. That must be nice.
Listen, it takes me a solid 3 or 1 Rush song to get to work.
That could be 18 to 35 minutes. That's very vague.
Listen, I can't even get through 2112 by the time it gets me from my house to Rockledge. But
and why would you?
Whoa.
Yeah,
we don't need to go there.
Well documented that I'm not a big Rush guy, and you are.
And Rush is like my bread and butter. That is one of my favorite bands. They're like right up there with Beartooth for me. But
you go to Madison Square Garden, see them?
So they announced 2 Philly dates that I'm trying to go to. Okay. At least one of them.
Fargo Center.
Yeah, they went from having, what was it? It was originally 6 dates to 60 because they doubled, if not tripled, each venue where they're playing 3 shows
I think
per
they
venue.
have to. I mean, you're going to do that. Well, I mean, one, in their aspect, I'm sure it's the farewell. Let's give it to the fans. We're almost a little too old for this. I get it. But also, there's somebody behind the books going, yeah, the more you pack on here, the more millions we're going to make.
Exactly. I know
so much money being made from that.
A buddy of mine from work, he stepped out from work because he was able to get into the pre-sale for, I think, MSG. And he got tickets, and I think he paid like $150 for God knows where his seat is.
That's probably like ultra nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Very tough.
That's for the sidewalk.
I think that's them. In the bathroom. 3rd stall from the right.
No, Rush is definitely on my list to see again because I've seen them once, and I didn't really have a great seat to see them. I saw him in the Giant Center up in the nosebleeds, like on the one side.
It's the Giant Center. You're not that far from stuff there.
No,
it's not Madison Square Garden.
From a 14-year-old's perspective, it was kind of the nosebleeds. I feel like now I would be very happy about it, but I'd like to be able to see them again from a different perspective.
Right.
Because all I could see was Alex Lifeson's bald spot from where I was sitting the entire time.
Catching the reflection of
and plus I'm just very curious to see how they do the whole thing because they have Jeff Beck's now drummer ex-drummer. I don't know if she's still going to drum for him, but Jeff Beck's drummer,
she's amazing.
Yo, she's phenomenal.
I wasn't really aware of her too much until this happened, and I started watching all the videos.
I would just assume if you're playing for Rush, you have to be.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
And they're adding a 5th member, not 5th, sorry, 4th, to do like auxiliary keyboards to take some of that weight off of Getty. Because I don't know if you guys have seen the video that they released announcing the whole like reunion tour and everything.
I have not.
Getty,
the 2 of them.
Yeah,
yep.
And Getty, he says he's like, I want to be able to like run around and have fun on stage. I don't want to have to be, strapped to a keyboard the entire time. He's like, no, I'll still play like this.
Yeah. Things at once.
He's like, no, I'll still play some of the signature like riffs on keyboards like the Bit and Tom Sawyer and, Subdivisions and stuff like that. He's like, but why don't we just have somebody that plays this like tucked in the back so I can run around and have fun on stage? Not that he didn't in the past.
I mean,
but
I guess that makes sense. But like you said, tracks are also a thing that can happen. I guess guys that they're not from that world, but that's fine.
You know, the only show I've ever seen at Madison Square Garden was Dave Gilmour.
Ooh.
I've never been up there. I've
never been to Madison Square Garden.
I've never been in for anything. My sister desperately wanted me to go up. She lived in New York, but she desperately wanted me to go to a Rangers game. She's a Rangers. We're big hockey fans, and I'm a Devils fan. It was a big thing, and we just never got the chance to go to a Rangers game. But
Devils.
I don't know. I don't know if I would go up there for a show. I'm not big on the city to begin with. I've been there a couple times, and I'm not. It's not my jam. I did it.
3 hours to get there, 3.5 hours to get there. It's expensive. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what my wife, we talked about, she wanted to go see Rush. And, like, I'm not against going to see Rush, but, you know, we're gigging musicians. It's hard to give up a weekend.
Yeah, really.
I get it.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Trust me. That's it's hard to plan things. My wife brings that up quite a bit, especially in the summer.
It's a balancing act. With the wife, with multiple bands, you're in.
Yep.
We're all in multiple bands.
Yeah, all multiple.
Yep.
I think anybody who does it has any passion for it. I don't know too many guys who just do one thing anymore. Like, at the very least, someone's playing in a main gig and then they have an acoustic side, or they're doing a tribute or something. There's at least one other project. Some of us can't have less than, a handful, or we're bored out of our minds.
Yeah. Right now I'm trying to plan some vacations with my wife and my family. I have a 14-year-old son, so he's a freshman in high school. So we're looking at summer vacation, which is also like peak outdoor gigging time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And,
thankfully
prioritize the family sometimes too.
Well, thankfully, my son's fully grown, and he's in fact older than you. And I've been able to, my musical fun hobbies, whatever you call it, have been able to be pretty wide open. But the last few years, since we got ourselves a permanent place in Maryland for the summer and stuff, my wife would like me to be there more, and I would love to be. But also, again, as you said, that's prime time, outdoor, good gigs. Now, the last year or two, we've spent most of our band dates down there somewhere, just so we can be outside near the camp area and just not have to go far.
Yeah.
We don't play in this area very much in the summertime. When we do, I'm like, some indoor gig. I don't want to be here. No one wants to be in the middle of July. Nobody wants to be inside the burning bridge.
I was going to say some indoor gig. What are you talking about? It's always burning bridge.
I know. They're the only ones that book inside in the summer. I don't get it. But that's a whole separate conversation. But yeah, I totally understand that. And you got to plan so far. I assume, like us, you probably book pretty far out, or early for far out.
I have stuff all the way through December of next year.
Us too.
Yep.
Yeah. Between the bands, as we discussed last night in our group mess, the band is almost booked for the year. And then there's some various dates I'm sure we'll fill in with other projects or the acoustic stuff. And even that, we have a good bit of our main summer gigs are already booked for the acoustic duo. So it doesn't take long. When you're playing out and you feel like people want to come see you, it's pretty easy to get that done. But you're definitely doing more locally than we are, as far as rooms, at least that I've seen with your schedule that pops up. You're definitely hitting a lot of places that, for any nor the reason we just never booked them and we don't have time, I guess. Now we don't have a schedule to, but
well, a lot of it is my musical partner Allie in the Roommates. She does a lot of all the booking pretty much for that band.
Gotcha.
She's very well connected. She's been it's really her band. She started it a couple years ago. She's been really grinding it out for a couple years now, and kind of just rotating through a lot of like substitute guitarists.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't until early last year I saw an ad on Facebook where she was looking for a full-time guitarist. Somebody steady.
That's helpful.
And at the time Millennial wasn't as busy, and I still had some extra time on my hands, some extra weekends open, and I wanted to be doing more. So
opportunity knocked, and it was the right timing. Yeah, it makes sense.
And it's kind of a match made in heaven because she's a phenomenal singer.
No, I agree. Now that I've seen her, yes, I agree.
Yes. Best female vocalist, CPMA is coming up.
Get your noms in. There's still time.
Best
folks.
cover band right here.
Yep. we can all ask for that. I assume if there's a podcast category, we'll get automatically nommed again. I mean, that sounds pretentious, but there's only like 5 of them that get in there. So for 2 years in a row, we're like, oh, cool, we got nominated.
Listen, I need to be able to say it at every gig now to 3-time award nominated.
Every time we play a gig, he says they're 2-time award winner nomination. Not honored to be nominated. No, but yeah, that is still going on until December 12th, 22nd, 22nd. Yeah.
So that's the nomination process, and then there's voting after that.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then it's
they
the actual.
from what I understand from a lot of listening about with the president and stuff about how that works, there was a lot of questions about what the fan vote even does. They say it really does take into account what they decide, who decide, how they get in the ballot by, because they understand there could be people just spamming the vote every day.
Yeah.
But they look at what people actually promote and contribute. Then they look at those bands to see if that's a real thing. So who knows?
Last year was my first time going to that. Yeah. I'm pretty new to the scene here. My background is I was actually in a church band for like 10 plus years.
So he's a real musician. Yes, got it.
No, I actually struggled for a long time, not knowing a whole lot of music theory, because I think you might relate as a guitarist. We learn a lot of patterns.
Yeah,
shapes.
That's the only way I can play. But
I'm then communicating with like a keyboard player.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a different language.
Yep.
Or like a vocalist. I actually struggled with imposter syndrome for a long time. Just I can hold my own on guitar, but I was just always waiting for somebody to ask me some music theory question that I didn't know the answer to. So,
well, fair enough. That's a long-standing joke with, I think, with a lot of guys that, well, if they're in a church band, they're clearly very good at what they do, because that's a whole different thing. But I know that's not 100% of a truth. It has some truth to it, depending on, I guess, the level of what you're doing. But I know some guys that do it in a small. Our friend Ryan.
It was a small church.
Yeah, he does a small church thing, and they've actually now started a band. Because they wanted to play more besides Sundays, and they're certainly all very good at what they do, but they're not professional musicians. They're all people that they're weekend warriors, as technically I guess we are when you go to work.
I mean, it was a steady gig every weekend,
right?
The gear just sat there; you didn't have to move the gear.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God!
Pardon the pun here, but that sounds heavenly.
Yeah.
Right, load in, no load out.
So I mean, is that where? Well, that's a good way to go there. How long have you been playing music?
So when I was a little kid, my parents put me in the group some piano lessons for like a year or two when I was real little, and that didn't really stick, but I do remember taking those lessons. Growing up in the house, my dad played guitar, acoustic guitar. It was real into the 70s, like Cat Stevens, the Eagles, some praise and worship stuff. So he's always had an acoustic guitar laying around, always picking it up, strumming it. So shout out, Dad, if you watch this. Yes.
Better. No, please.
Influenced.
Please become one of our tens of listeners. Anyway.
Yeah. But then, interestingly, at family gatherings, like all my uncles on both sides of the family, so some holidays my dad's side, some holidays my mom's side, all my uncles play guitar and sang. So, we would have like family gatherings where Thanksgiving, sitting around drinking, we'd have like 4 or 5 acoustic guitars going. And
that sounds awesome.
So actually, I think it's like inevitable that I just absorb that.
It's funny because we have very similar stories, because my family also had, like, we all played guitar. We had like a family band that we would get together on weekends. Everyone's drinking and we would just jam. We have cassette tapes laying around.
Ooh,
of
what do you have something to play those on still? Yeah, right. I do.
I think I have a CD of it that I did one of the cassette to
digital.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Did one of the conversions just so I'd be able to listen to it again. But we were a homemade band called Raw Sewage. And so
this story has actually never been spoken on a podcast.
Have I never talked about this?
I've never heard that before. So.
Yeah, so that was like, again, it's funny because it was a very similar story. That my dad always played bass. My brother, he was a drummer, and I had like 2-3 uncles that played guitar. The one played harmonica, and nobody could sing, but we tried. And so we'd all just get together, and on a Saturday night, everyone's having beverages. I think I was like 5 or 6 years old, just hanging out, watching them do this. And I was like, this is cool. But we were a band called Raw Sewage and the Microwaves. And
it's better every time he says it.
I'm making a fake band t-shirt and wear it to a show.
Oh, please.
Is that on your resume then?
Oh, it should
all
be.
the way down.
But it's funny because on my Spotify, the song Clouds in My Attic that I have, that was an original Raw Sewage song that I then took the cassette tape and I redid, because I was like, it has potential to not suck. So I re-recorded it.
The best sales pitch ever. It has potential to not suck. Yeah.
But Yeah, no, I thought that was funny because it was a very similar like scenario that we both kind of had like the families that would get together and play.
Yep.
Is that where you got the inkling that you wanted to play guitar?
Yeah, I don't know. So there was always a guitar laying around the house. You know, like I said, my dad was playing it every holiday and family gathering. You know, guitar and singing was the big thing. So eventually, I just picked it up. I loved classic rock back in the day. So when I picked up guitar, I just wanted to play, you know, the usual AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Metallica, that kind of stuff.
Do you how old were you then? Roughly?
About 14 is when I picked it up. Yeah, I remember I had my dad drive me up to the only, well, not the only guitar store, but back in the day, it was Guitar Center up on Jonestown Road.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Went up there, got an Epiphone Les Paul special too. I think
One too.
$50 with the little amp that came with it.
Yep.
Which I think is long gone. That thing got destroyed.
There's pieces of that guitar here actually. It's out of frame here. That white body one there. That was a project body I just found. I wanted to build something because the other one's something like that neck and all the electronics were off of my special too.
I mean, for our video watchers.
Kind of
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out that guitar. Yeah, bring that into frame, Jake. That guitar. If you look very closely, right above the pickup, there is a gap because this neck was not built for this scale of body. I knew nothing about that stuff. So my buddy that helped me out, he's like, dude, I'm going to have to put a small gap there to make the scale right. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, very nice. I didn't know what that, I had no idea. I was just trying to be that guy. I think I got this body online for $20 or something because there was a crack in the paint. Like it's just some one-off body and it's heavy and disgusting, but it's just one of those things that I'll never do anything with except know I have it because I put it together.
What happened here?
That's how it came. I don't know. Again,
That's
probably
why it
some
was $20.
probably some. It was that, and there's a spot here and a spot somewhere else. It was a blemished body. I'm like, I want to try that. Yeah, but yeah,
So-
I mean, I still have.
I love the
It still look at the dust. It still has the. I mean, that's literally the
original.
original Les Paul that I had. Yeah.
Don't clean that up; it'll be worth less.
Yeah, I know.
So I took my body, and I think I even had the one that was like the lower grade below that because mine didn't even have binding; it only had
oh,
two
mine
knobs
was
on
it-
it.
the
was
original
like-
didn't either. It was just like a very thin
Okay.
black body,
Okay.
two knobs. It was
Yeah,
the
so it is the same.
it was the
Yeah.
$100 model at the time or whatever it was.
So
Yeah, it
I
was.
took mine into a shop class in high school. I went to Hempfield High School, and I took a router and I routed around there, and I tried to add some like curly maple binding around it. And
You went all in.
I made like a diamond plate pickguard for it.
I'm not. At that time, I wasn't that creative with adding on to things. I just thought it would be neat to quote unquote build a guitar, and I know so much more about that, especially if we have a guitar builder in our band. Oh man, I am not. Yes, the Twin Dicks model. Which, by the way, I would till we're done with this. I'd love for you to play that thing to see what see what it's like.
You know who also plays one like that? Tate Lehman.
Tate
You know,
does.
Tate, yep.
Yeah, Tate.
who was also a former roommate.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was one of the guitarists that was rotating in with Allie and Justin.
yeah, Tate's something else. I mean, pretty
Killer.
much everybody on the Twin Dicks roster is something else except me. I am literally the only guy on that roster who is a singer who plays guitar. The rest of those guys are all guitar players. Oh no, sir. You are a guitar player who sings. That's different.
Fair.
Yeah, I am one of guitar is not my natural instrument by any means. The fact that I have two of those things is stupid. Some of those guys who are good, well, probably going to be like Alex.
Oh.
Shout out to Alex Warner. The kid's super young and super talented, and he only has one. He also has the best one I think they ever built, but that's besides the point. But yeah,
So
Yeah.
I was not aware of Twin Dicks until I just happened to be at Guitars on Main in Mount Joy.
Yeah.
That's actually where I got that carbon fiber acoustic.
Yeah.
You see me playing.
Yeah.
Which I brought it just for kicks. But he mentioned Bob Putt over at Guitars on Main. He's like, "You ever hear about Twin Dicks guitars?" And I think he mentioned Ghostlight Radio Show.
Yep,
And at
yep.
the time, I was like, "No, I don't really know those guys."
yeah,
But look, here I am now, and
Yeah.
and both of mine. That was the first one I got, and the one I'm playing now. Both of them are basically they're off the wall. These are the demo models that we, proof of concept kind of things. And they like to cycle them out once in a while. I was never going to get on there and custom pick out a body and a fretboard and a neck. Like I'm not that guy, nor would I spend that kind of money. I'm not that good. There's certain. I've always believed there's things to be said. You can put a cheap guitar in a good guitar player's hands and it will do its thing.
Okay.
But you can also tell when something's made with quality. I'm just playing something quality at a low spot. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just happy to play. I'm an acoustic guy I'm always going to be. I mean, again, shout out to, not again, but we have in this episode. What did we not talk about, Jake? our sponsorship from Breedlove. We are both Breedlove artists. Again, I don't know how it happened. I just sent them a message and they said, yeah. So that's my story. They're like, well, how do you get that? I'm like, I said, I own one of your guitars. At the time it was two, but one got stolen. I said, I own a guitar I have for many, many years. That's all I really play. And I just wondering if there's anything you do. You're like, yeah, how many gigs you play? Send us some links. And they're like, yeah, you're a perfect fit. I'm like, cool. I said, Jake, send them the same thing. You're in the same band as me. 2 weeks later, I think.
I sent a more bare bones email. I said, Bob sent me. And they said, cool, here you go.
Yep. So
hey, work smarter. Not harder.
Yeah. So I mean,
dude, I love Breedlove. I used to play them back in the Praise and Worship band days, and another guy in the band had one as well.
They're so good.
It was the higher end import model. You know, the CM. I think it's got that their own style.
The only thing I haven't done with these yet. The only thing I will not buy any other acoustic anymore. That are
really some cool innovations. On
the acoustic I just don't. Well, I mean, the Godin's nice. I mean, I've had plenty that way, but once I played my original one, which is downstairs, I spent, for a guy who even then was pretty like 3 chords, that's all I could really do. I spent a couple hours at Guitar Center just playing it and trying to Martin, I had a price range I wanted to be in, and my guitar player at the time told me, well, check out Breedlove. I had never heard of them, and I left with that thing.
Oregon, I believe.
Yeah, I left with that thing, and that's been my number one acoustic for going on 13 years now. And I just got that last November when I got the sponsorship. That thing had some pickup issues, which I actually sent back to Breedlove, and they took care of, no problem. But I haven't had it out since it's been here. Jake plays it more than I do now. He pulls it off the wall. We're in here.
And since he's been playing Breedlove, ever since him and I became friends, then he had been trying to get me onto Breedlove. And I was stubborn because that's what I do.
Yeah, right.
And I was on my Ibanez acoustic that I like because I'm an Ibanez guy. And then I was playing D'Angelico for a while.
You sure were.
And listen, that cherry red or that like deep wine red D'Angelico I had for a while, that thing was all right.
It did its job you're not
for what it was.
It was like playing out in a bar.
Yeah, okay. And so then after a while, he's like, every time we got together, he's like, "It's not
get serious here."
Yeah, he's like, "It's not Breedlove, not Breedlove."
Oh, yeah. Like I started doing it on the mic, like, "Hey, look at this piece of shit guitar he's playing, our folks."
And so after a while, I was like, "All right." And so I sold the D'Angelico, and I went and I bought the one that I play now everywhere, and that is just normally my primary acoustic.
Yeah,
other than that brief time I was getting it worked on, and I brought the Ibanez back out,
right.
Busted all the strings off of it at a gig, and
so you're not a one and done, but I mean, you've played one Breedlove guitar for a long time. Obviously, you have lots of gear. You have a love for gear. I don't know how much of this is yours.
This is all mine. This is my fantasy world in here. I did the count the other day. Actually, there's some missing because I have some out, and you have my baritone.
I do have your baritone.
But I'm up to 20 guitars. I bought it. I'm a big Breaking Benjamin guy. Surprise, surprise. And a friend of mine works for ESP. When they put out his signature model in the lower cost model, he's like, I can get that to you for cost, dude. I'm like, I shouldn't buy this. I'm never going to play it. And I bought it anyway. But he had been talking for a while about recording with one. I said, take it home. It's been hanging on the wall here as a showpiece. Just use it. So he has that. But yeah, I have way more guitars than my skill level would imagine. And
me too.
And there's nothing.
There's nothing of being a guitarist. I think.
There's nothing high end in here like some guys would have. The Twins are probably, the most as far as cost and construction. There's some really. I mean, that PRS way out of frame probably on the other end there. That's a copy I got. If you read
not even a PRS.
No, if you read the serial number off it says it's a $12,000 Dragon. It is not.
Oh yeah, I could tell.
But I got it for like $300, and I was like, it was the first one I bought. I hadn't even bought a PRS yet. I just wanted because I saw some guys selling them. Like, I'm going to buy that.
PRS is my jam.
And I love them, and I upgraded that. I put actual PRS tuners on and stuff. I did all kinds of stuff, but it just stays at home. The one next to it's one. What's that?
Have you ever been to the factory?
No, and I want to do that badly. I just never did.
Do it. I've done it. Once I went to the gift shop and saw Paul Reed Smith himself come out of the factory and dash into the office. I was like, there it goes.
That's like a rock star moment.
And the second time, I actually, sometime after COVID, they reopened for like formal tours that you actually have to sign up.
Book, yeah, that's what I looked into. Yeah,
it's like $14 or something. It's worth it. You see, like, just gorgeous guitars being made left and right. And we went up to the second floor and where they're doing the amps and, that test bed and doing electronics. And then they have a room where they crank it up and test the amplifiers. And Paul Reed Smith was in there testing out an amp
And this was separate visits?
Separate visits.
I
yeah.
got to see the guys
that's
twice.
so cool.
And he played. What was he playing? He did the riff to Back in Black. Like the most basic guitar.
Yeah.
But he did it.
Yeah.
It was him. That's cool. Yeah, I've never done that. I've talked about that for a while. It's weird for me because my wife's not a big musician. She's not a musician at all, but she's into music. She's not into the technical side of it, if you will, the gear side of it. So she'll go do these things with me, but she doesn't really want to. So it's hard for me to plan a trip. That's going to have to be a podcast trip, like a road trip.
Yeah.
Like we're just going to have to go.
Where's it at?
Outside
Stevensville, Maryland.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't.
like across the bay from Annapolis.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's really not that.
that'll
far
be
of drive.
a Nailed
go
It
with you guys.
Roadshow episode.
I wanted to go
We'll
up
get a
to.
group of people and go.
We should.
Hell
I
yeah.
wanted to go up to Martin for some time
I know.
too.
Someone
I
else
almost
is
had
going.
my wife convinced one summer. We did like a staycation week. We did a bunch of smaller trips, and I had planned out a thing where we were going to go to there and go to Yingling. We're going to do this whole thing,
Ah.
and as I realized, like we're going to spend more time in the car than at any of the places, so we need to split it up, and then we never went.
Yeah.
But I want to go to. The only shop I've ever really been in is Twin Dicks, which is cool. It's small scale, and you see what they're doing.
Real
Multiple.
handcrafted.
Yeah, everything's hand built.
I would assume I've never been there.
Well, you were at Gibson, weren't you? When you were in Tennessee.
That's not the plant though. That's just the
Pure
garage, the Gibson garage.
Oh.
Yeah, it's super amazing, but that was just it's a super high end guitar shop.
Gotcha.
It's a boutique shop that only sells Gibson owned products.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you see when you go into the big manufacturers, it's it's not like a bunch of skilled luthiers.
Right.
It's
like
broken down into assembly line kind of. This person sands this all day every day. This person makes this kind of
Oh man,
day.
it sounds
Take me
soul
back to
crushing.
my
Takes
Hershey
a little bit of
years.
the magic out of it,
Right.
but
Well, I mean,
you end up with a
luthiers.
cool like coaster at the end of it. They cut the sound hole out, and then that little round piece
Is this a
it's
coaster?
just like a little souvenir at the end of the tour.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's sick.
yeah.
So
I'll have
I've
to,
done PRS, I've done Martin, and I've done Taylor out in California.
Taylor would be cool to see. I like Taylor's.
I'm not a big Taylor fan. And no other reason. I've always found them to be a little too bright, but
They are very bright.
and that's not for me. But I'm saying that like I'm some sort of tone snob, and I'm not. I guess I stuck with that Breed Love because it felt right. And of the
That's what it
price
comes down
range
to.
I was in, I was plugging them in because it was always going to be an acoustic electric. I had things. It had to have a built-in tuner.
Yep.
I can't tune by ear to save my life, so I'm never going to do that. There were certain things, and plugging that in the multiple amps they had in that acoustic room, that Breed Love just sounded better. To me, my ear, it was what I wanted to have, so that's what I had, and
Sound right, felt right, and gives you comfort and confidence on
Yep.
stage.
that guitar is never leaving my side. In fact, I got that one thinking I would
I've said
upgrade
that to
to
myself many times, and many guitars have
Well,
come and gone.
that guitar is not going anywhere. This thing I got because I thought I'm going to upgrade a little, get a little nicer model. I get an entirely huge discount for being on the roster, and because it had so many problems, I didn't really give it any field testing. So I got to get it out, but I have a feeling no matter what I do, nothing's going to take away number one spot. Actually, and the fact that I don't play it at our gigs anymore
Yeah.
is weird now. It's just strictly for acoustic gigs. That was a differentiator for us. I was playing acoustic. We don't need 3 guitars in our band. I got 2 lead guitar players. I don't need to be playing.
Made it over here.
I just do it. But I was taking the acoustic, and it gave, before Jake was in the band, we were a 2-guitar band. I just played my acoustic as the rhythm, and it gave it, it broke it up a little bit. But he came in, I'm like, well, I'm not putting my guitar down. For the first time in years, I play guitar nearly every song. Like I get to do something. For me, it changes what I've been doing for 20 some years. But
front man.
now I start out like, well, I got these twins and I'm playing them. Now we have 3 electrics that have no business. Half the time I'm on an acoustic patch. Like I should just take my acoustic. I just don't want to.
That's cool. I'll tell you what, I've been in a 1-guitar band. Roommates and Millennial are both 1-guitar bands, and it's kind of lonely out there. I kind of want a second guitar sometimes.
I can see how that would be.
Because you drop out to play the lead, and then the rhythm guitar drops out, and the bass has to
make up
fill in a little bit.
Yeah, it changes the dynamic. I mean, I guess that works for a lot of things, and that can work really well in a cover situation. I've seen that work many times to great effect, but also I've seen in the same situations, I've seen some of those same bands eventually add a guitar player, and all of a sudden their show changed like
in a good way or bad way.
exponentially because there was. You could see it was freeing up the guy playing the leads to play the leads and have more fun with it. It wasn't all, it wasn't overworking, like you said. He wasn't overworking the bass player. There was extra stuff. But I've also seen it go the other way. A Gunmetal Gray is a pretty good example. they went from a 5-piece to a 4-piece, and it took them a bit to find how that worked with one guitar. And it worked that well. Christian took over that for a long time, and it did eventually work out, but they kind of had to rearrange their set list of covers to adjust some of the stuff they were doing because they didn't have 2 guitars anymore.
Yeah, some of my bandmates suggest songs, and I'm listening to them like, how am I ever going to fill up enough sonic space here?
Well, and you get into spaces, I've noticed over the years, that you get into spots where it depends on who you think's going to notice. Right. The average people, as long as they're hearing the bass of the song, the basics of the song, not the bass, mind you, but they don't know.
Melody and like some chords.
Yeah, if they can follow along, they don't care. The average bar goer, the average sheeple. But then you get musicians who are like, well, that's missing a whole part, which is where a lot of us get our imposter syndrome from, because we know there's someone out there we think watching, critiquing. At the same time, I found over the years now, more times it's guys like me sitting out there going, oh, well, I couldn't do it as well as they're even doing it now, or I would have messed that up. But in the head of, in reverse on stage, sometimes you're like, oh, they're looking at me, they're probably thinking I'm screwing this up. I don't think, I mean, there are some people out there that are, as I always joked, there's guys standing in the back room like this.
Oh yeah.
If you don't see a local, what's the meme? If you don't see a local musician stand in the back like this,
you're not doing it right
or something. Yeah.
I'll tell you a story.
Go for
it. I was coming out of the praise and worship band thing, and I was taking a little break from playing live. And a couple years went by, the pandemic went by, and I wasn't playing. And I saw this cover band down in the Baltimore scene. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them. Here's to the Night.
No.
90s primarily cover band. Real fun, like, childhood kind of theme stuff, but playing a lot of 90s music. And a big band, I think like 10,000 followers online.
Oh.
I remember randomly going to see them and just watching them, be like, I could do that. Like, probably, not to sound hubris, like I can't do it as well as they're doing it, but
yeah,
like, man, I could start a band to do that. And that's kind of how I got the inspiration to start Millennial Mixtape.
I have a bit of the same thing. I was out hanging around, people were doing them, like, I can't, well, mine's a little less than that. Mine was, I can't be as bad as that guy, so I might as well do that.
Yeah, that's the opposite, but pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how more or less.
Yeah, and then this past holiday or Halloween weekend, Millennial Mixtape played back-to-back nights at Tellus 360, and we got booked for the Friday night, and I guess the band that was supposed to play Saturday night had to drop out or something, so we got booked on the spot to come back the next night, which was pretty cool.
Right.
But the second night was amazing, and there was a guy who came right up to the stage, and he's like, looking at my gear, looking at my pedals, and like, started asking me like, how do you do it? Like, how do you get out there and play guitar and gig like this? So there was a guy who was like in the exact same spot I was like two and a half years ago. And I was like, I know I'm on rung one of, how far the music industry can go, but it was just kind of a little kind of gratifying to have that moment.
It's nice to see. It's well, first of all, it's just nice to have anybody ask anymore.
Yeah.
There's people that don't. I often get a little jaded with the thought that there is a younger generation behind me, and again, because I'm a little older than everybody else, but that isn't interested in what we're doing. And then I get hope back to me somewhere where I see a kid like Alex.
Yeah.
Now, he's an exception to the rule, mind you. He's clearly built with guitar talent at 17. I mean, but he gives me hope that there's kids his age that.
Yeah, I was at Guitar Center just this past weekend, and a bunch of broccoli head teenagers came in, and they're they're nudging each other and stuff, and they wandered into the acoustic room, and I tell you, they're playing like Everlong, Nirvana riffs, Blackbird by the Beatles, like all the usual stuff that probably any of us would start playing if we went into the acoustic room at Guitar Center. So like some things never change.
Well, and that's it's funny because like our friend Ryan, his son Nolan,
they're out there.
Yep.
He's a drummer and he's a very natural musician. I think he could probably play other instruments if he wants to. But he just turned 19 2 days ago. Nolan is very into like 90s rock, harder rock. Even the grungy stuff that like he wasn't born yet. And that's where that's where his playing lives. And I'm like, because notably, as I've kind of brought this up at other times, those kids that age, their parents were listening to that. Yeah. And I've had experiences that tell us when we play.
Like the new classic rock sort of.
It's awful. It's the truth.
It's
the truth. The stuff from my teenage years is classic rock now. we play Tellus once a year. We play Black Friday, and
It's like soft rock. You hear it playing in JCPenney or something.
I heard something in the grocery store just recently, and it was like from the early 2000s, and I'm like, oh no.
And you're just bopping along while you're picking out your asparagus.
It was like Papa Roach, like
I
Scars.
was just saying,
there's
there's
been
been
something you wouldn't expect in the grocery store. I'm like, oh no, this is on like the Muzak channels.
I was gonna say, there's been a couple times that I've gone to like Walmart or something, and I hear Daughtry on the radio or something.
Yeah, it's good though, because there's an age group that like, when they see us play at Tellus, and I asked this like after our first year, because we play on Black Friday 10:30 to 1. First of all, we don't play till 1 o'clock anywhere anymore.
Oh, that's
pretty much
that's my bedtime, dude.
The crowd is like predominantly like early to mid 20 somethings, and I'm like, we're playing like
that
80s.
Place doesn't get busy till about midnight.
Yeah, we're playing 80s to 90s stuff, and they're singing along, and I was like, I don't. When I was told it was booked, my first, I mean, I just joined the band in late August. We were playing. They're like, well, we're playing Black Friday. I'm like, to who? Okay, I know that's a younger place. They're not going to be in anything we're playing. Like, there's barely anything. There's nothing new. Our set has changed much since then. And I asked two of the kids. Turns out were the sons of friends of ours at the campground, and they were they knew us. You know, they had just turned 21. I was like, what are you guys so into this with? And he said again, well, our parents listened to this stuff when we were growing up, and our older brother listened to this stuff. He goes, this is just the music we know. We love this stuff. I'm like, it never dawned on me. Because I grew up, my mom was listening to country and I listened to pop radio in the 80s. Like, that didn't, although I didn't think about how it informed my musical taste, I didn't go out seeking bands that were playing that stuff. But that seems to be, that's a story I've heard from other people, or there's young people coming up, hey, what's that guitar? Or, man, how do you get into this? It happens more than I think it does, which is cool. At least it's still out there. Because, as I say at every show, Jake, without music, life would suck.
Yeah,
it would suck. Whether you ever anybody ever thinks of it that way, even if you're not a musician, music is some part of their life.
It's pretty universal.
Yeah, it really is. So yeah, well, that's cool that you had that full circle and so close to your start, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like you know, to not have to go years like me to have somebody bring something like that up. So
yeah, so I said, just go out there, get some friends together, learn some songs, call yourself a band, market yourselves, and get good.
Get good.
Yeah, that's key. You got to get good.
You got to sound pretty good to start out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, because there's plenty of examples that aren't. I mean, I wasn't. I know that for a fact. Our band was not good when I started, but we were a good time.
It depends on what your
Same.
goals are and where you want to go with it.
Yeah, and at the time when I started, it was a different world of going out. You could go out and really see. There really were horrible bands, but places were packed and everybody was just having a good time. So it didn't dawn on us that we needed to be better for a while. So, but nowadays I think there's just as much competition as back then. There's tons of bands and acoustic guys, but everybody's on a pretty good level. So, and the venues are different. There's not nearly as many, and you probably know this from booking stuff too. There's probably not nearly as many venues for full bands as there used to be.
Well, and again, I've only really gotten out onto the scene like 2.5 years ago. So, you know,
what you're seeing is the pre-COVID, there was venues for every type of music every weekend. And now it is, unless you're playing an acoustic or you can fit in a corner, because everybody went to that because that was the formula they could afford.
Yeah.
A lot of the venues that I was used to playing and are just gone. We play a lot of VFWs and Legions, private clubs, private parties. We don't play nearly as many. Well, I think it's Burning Bridge, maybe the only actual bar we still play.
Burning Bridge, Fiorentino's.
Well, by the way, I love Burning Bridge to just build in a PA, get that PA working. They have bands in there all the time, and everyone brings their own PA.
Yep,
that's how speakers hanging there. There's a rack of
gear, but
lights.
That's for when they used to have open mics and DJs. They've never been real interested in that, but we have a good time there. We always have a good time there. Generally, always have a good crowd there. So we'll continue to do it. But yeah, I don't think. Fiorentino's is a bar, but with us playing outside on the flight deck, that's a weird situation. I mean, just in general, an actual bar, I don't think we really.
Like Cessna spinning up in the background.
We've had last time we played there, 2 Marine helicopters came in, Marine 1 and Marine 4, landed to refuel, and just in the middle of our set, and they are the loudest things. We've had jets firing up. We had 2 or 3 shows ago, 2 summers ago, we had a chopper come in that let a bunch of National Guard people off, and they walked through us to get where they're going. So everybody stopped. And it was great, but this basically it was our set break. We had to stop until once they started winding both those choppers up to leave. It was like a 15-minute. Like you couldn't hear anything.
We were in the middle of summer of '69, and in my ear, like because we all wear ears, but all I could hear in the mix was it was getting louder. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
What the heck? We're about to go in a Fortunate Son or something.
Yeah, and I'm looking, and I was like, "Well, I got to at least finish the song, but I can't hear anything."
Yeah, that's a expected risk. That's a hazard of the job at that place. But yeah, I mean, we don't. I think most of the places that are still out there, the shift has been quite a bit. But I have, of course, a longer perspective on it. But I miss the days where there was you could walk in any bar, the Nashville effect. You can walk in any bar and there's music.
Yep.
We had that to a much less degree here. You could go out any night of the week, and any place usually had a 3-piece or larger. It was rare to find acoustic guys back then, except maybe a Sunday afternoon on a deck somewhere. Now it's a complete reversal. So, but I'd rather there was some scene than no scene. So,
yeah, there's definitely some scene.
Yeah, you do. Of course, you were just at Red Rose. Was that right?
Yep.
And
that was our first time playing there.
Yeah, I haven't played there in years and years. Weird room, tall ceiling.
It is big, kind of
echoey chamber, and then the bar drops real low, so it cuts the sound. I always found it weird. I mean, they do stuff there all the time.
I don't know about you, but I get the first time going to a venue, especially one that I've never like frequented before, is just a patron. But like,
right,
I always err on the side of bringing way too much gear. Like, I'm not sure if I need the full big PA, if I can get by with the smaller, like medium PA.
Now, do you're the main provider of that for your bands?
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
Yeah,
we don't recommend playing an instrument and setting up the PA and mixing sound live.
We don't. We have our guitar player Rich has all the stuff. I love our system, so I'll never give it up. But we actually have a sound guy. We pay a guy to be there. In a couple of situations, I had to run from the stage, and I do that in the smaller stuff when we were doing it as a 4-piece once in a while. It wasn't that big a deal. We weren't playing, but like at the level it goes, like the what we do, what a nightmare to try and do it from the stage. And I'm pretty much doing 80% of the singing too. Like it's hard to mix the. Yeah, I agree. I do not recommend it if you can.
I do it for now.
Right.
But I cherish the gigs that, like a proper club, or we're festival or something where somebody else.
That's so few and far between.
I can
for
actually
us.
relax
What's
and
that?
enjoy playing guitar.
A place that we go that has it house. So it doesn't happen very often for us.
I think last time we got to enjoy that was when Nailed It did that music at beer festival
in
Lebanon.
In Lebanon, yeah, the big amphitheater with like a legit like high-end sound system. That was kind of awesome. Yeah, just plug in here and here's some ear packs. Do you have your buds? Wait, what? I don't have to like dial. I don't have to dial. I can just tell you what I need. This is amazing. Yeah, and of course Tellus has a guy, but you guys play in the back room or up front?
Up front.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the back room or up front?
Well, wait, the front glass or the stage? You play with
not the stage, the temple.
Like when you first
the temple.
Like when you
play
first walk
you play on the street.
Yeah, we play on the street.
Yeah. Which is fine, and that's where the people are. I just the sound issue there is because of us using ears and stuff. Like he's like, I got a mix across the front. Your drummer can have one. Like, I guess I'll just hear what I can hear for 2.5 hours. Then I'm not gonna fight this. It's just weird. Yeah. And it's loud, but people love it. And as I say all the time, I have not done one gig there since I joined the band. We play there every year. We did 2 a couple years. Some drunken 30 to 40 something woman knocks my mic stand into my teeth every show.
Yeah, Halloween. They're using the other end of the boom as their own little personal microphones. I'm like, you better watch it because this is going to go right in your teeth.
I am considering taking the light boxes this year. It's extra hassle, but it will give us something to brace them from. Except they'll probably stand on them.
I can bring stanchions from work to just be like, do not cross.
We always get people like coming kind of like around the side, like because most of the time you're playing on the floor there, except for the big holidays.
They put a stage in there,
yeah.
But we get people all the time who are trying to get up on stage.
Oh yeah,
get up on stage.
And I get it. I understand. Like that's their story they'll tell tomorrow, but because you can't explain to those people, especially that have been drinking, like you can't really do that. Or I can't hear you. I have earbuds in. Like they don't understand any of that.
It's like smile, nod, play the guitar.
Yep.
Nudge them down. Go have fun.
Can you play some Morgan Wallen? No,
go
I
away.
can't. Please go away.
Or that was like
I like to play that. We did. Where were you?
that
we
was.
already played that song.
So is Ghostlight played on the back temple stage?
No.
No.
No, and
I've always wanted to play on that
love to.
stage
Ever
with
been
it.
on that stage?
Nope.
No.
I did it once for launch with Chris.
Oh
Schiller.
yeah,
And there could have been a few more people there.
right. Well,
'Cause we got the first opening
launch is a
early slot.
weird thing. Launch is awesome. It's a great event. I worked it a couple years. I've been out, but you're asking a lot of people to go to a lot of different places all at once.
Yeah.
And whenever you get a
And it's all
cross-town
original
musical
music.
festival, like, yeah, unless you're specifically bringing people with you that have already heard your music, but like all these bands are coming out of town, they can't possibly expect to see a bunch of people. I mean, I guess you hope for it, but I don't know. This is why I don't live in the original world. Well, that and I'm not good at it, but my writing is terrible. But that's
I've written a few songs for myself, but they'll probably never see the light of day.
that's how I am. I'm not. We talk every week about we're going to collaborate because he's very good at it, and he's good at firing off songs in like a day. He'll like, I got an idea, and then he'll send me like a completed like instrumental track he demoed, like drums and all. I'm like, okay, cool.
So wait, do you go out there and play original music in any of your?
So I have an original project with Listexia. It's basically
You guys just played a Phantom Power, right?
yes, we did just play Phantom Power. It's basically Stricken,
It's a fun stage.
the Disturbed tribute band with two different guitar players.
I get it.
But that's that's like one of my originals. Like I write originals for that band, but I also write originals for myself and like stuff for like him and I to collaborate on. But and I've said this a bunch of times, I haven't gotten out to play like my original songs yet, which is like a passion project to eventually happen. But
Yeah, you should.
yeah, so it is fun to play your originals out live if you like them.
And I totally get it having some of the same people in different bands. Like I'm always explaining that. Well, this band is that cast of characters with a different singer. with
Yeah.
different whatever.
And it's funny because like almost now more than half of the bands I've ever been in have consisted of me and him or me and Dave Z or the three of us together in some.
What are you saying? You saying I do too much? Or-
Well,
True.
because I did my first couple projects, which was a similar situation. I was in Transylvania 666, which then turned into On the Rocks, which turned into Side Piece. It was all the same members, but like we would lose a member here or there, and we would just kind of rebrand. And then I joined Nailed It,
Yep.
which then became Ghostlight, which then became Listexia.
Yep.
So like.
Well, that's how it works around here too. You
Yeah.
end up not only you get used to playing with people, so it works. It's easy to call somebody up and say, "Hey, man, you want to start something else? We got some time." But it's easy to play with people you know and get comfortable right away.
Mhm.
You can get a set list going. You can get a show going
You
way
know what
faster.
they're going to be comfortable
Yep.
with.
Yep.
Like,
The
There's
only
a comfortability there should be a comfortability in a band. If it's not comfortable, if it's at all awkward, then what are you doing it for? Unless it's a fill-in gig
we've
or
all
something.
been there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only one of my bands that that never sprouted into something else was my first band.
Well,
And-
you were like 12 or something. So.
Listen, I was 16. I think I was 16 when I joined that band. It was either 16 or 17. And it was such a weird way that I got hooked up with them. I had like played a talent show because I went to Cedar Crest High School for a year and a half. And in that year and a half, I played a talent show just myself. I went up and I was that kid, and I did Eruption and with my
Is there a video of this?
Good thing.
yes.
Oh,
I have
please.
video of this somewhere.
This has to go from the page.
I have
need
it
to
on
see
a DVD somewhere.
Please.
But I like looking back at it and even thinking about it, I'm like, God, I was a douche. Because I'm up.
You weren't the kid with where the guitar like fell off the straps in the middle.
No,
right?
I was too cool
Oh,
for
That
that.
would be so.
I came up with my Marshall what was it, the Valve State 2000 112 combo amp, my Dimebag Darrell signature Dean guitar.
Like super fizzy distortion.
Oh yeah, dude. And so I'm up there and
Way too much game.
I'm doing Eruption, and I'm like, I'm so cool. And then after like I walked off the stage, and the final act of the talent show was this band called Shoes to Fill, and they were all the seniors that were playing, and so they're like, oh, the seniors are gonna do the finale of the show. And so I walked off the stage and they were like, "Hey man, that was really cool." And I was like, "Hey, thanks." And then I went back into the auditorium to watch this band, and I'm thinking, "Holy shit, they suck." And I was like, "I hope I'm never in a band like this." Fast forward a couple months later, I get a text from a buddy that was in my English class. He's like, "Hey man, my sister's boyfriend's band is looking for a guitar player. Would you mind if I give him your number?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't care." And here it was Shoes to Fill looking for a guitar player. And I was like, "Oh no."
And so
And then it became a
So it
thing.
is.
And as soon as I joined, the band changed drastically because they were trying to do like a not John Mayer, like what's that song? Hey Ho or whatever.
Lumineers.
Is that who it is? I don't even know.
I like that
It's a
meme.
good
There's
tune,
like
man.
there's a whole genre of music from around like 2010, 2011 where it's like stomp, clap, stomp,
Yeah.
clap,
Yeah.
say hey.
So yeah, because
true.
I'm pretty sure they did that song at this talent show. That's not my jam. I'm not that kind of like music listener, but they wanted to do that kind of thing at first, but then I joined and we got heavier and we became a little bit more
Not surprising at all.
we became more of like hard rock and then proggy, but then like that's where things started to dissipate because I didn't want to be super proggy at the time, which is really funny because of what we play in Lysdexia.
Do play some prog rock.
But yeah, like once I left that band, the four of us never played together since. Like, and that was 2017, 2018, 2017.
I won't tell you what I was doing at that time anyway.
We're old men by then.
Yeah, right.
It was like 2017 when I left that band, and from that day on, we had never played. I think I might have seen them one other time out in public, and we have never seen each other since. We've talked to each other every so often, but like we've never jammed then. So nothing ever sprouted from that band, and I think that was the only one that didn't sprout a like another
band.
project. Yeah.
Where did you decide that, like, when did you come in from, like you said you were doing the church thing?
Yeah.
What got you out of that into wanting to perform like band wise?
Yeah, well, there was a gap in between those two things where I wasn't doing anything.
Oh,
So
the gaps are the worst.
Yeah, at
Oh.
a certain point, I just decided that the praise and worship scene wasn't for me anymore, and I just kind of hung up my guitars on the wall just like this, and they sat there for a while, and I got into other stuff and just wasn't playing a whole lot of music. Excuse me. Until this guy Chris, who was in the praise and worship band, some of those guys started doing a classic rock thing locally on the side,
Gotcha.
and they wanted me to fill in for a gig, and I did, and I ended up sticking around for the better part of a year or so. And that kind of reignited my desire to get out there and play. I was like, oh shoot, this is fun. I could actually do this, but it wasn't quite the music for me. So that's where I spun up Millennial Mixtape on the side. And that became my passion project, and then eventually left that classic rock cover band. Also, the bassist from that praise and worship band, a guy named Chad, he introduced me to Chris Sheeler, actually. He's like, hey, this guy Chris, who I'd never met before, put out an EP last year, recorded in the studio, but he needs some guys to go out there and support him live and play these songs live.
Right.
So he probably told that story on the podcast here.
It was so long ago.
I know, it
I'm
really
sure that,
was.
he
It
did.
was
He
just
did.
your last guest, right?
Yeah.
So the bassist and I knew each other. He introduced me to Chris, who introduced me to Sean Groff on drums. And we had another guy named Rob on guitar there for a little bit, and he's now in a band called Reno Avenue. Heard of that?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
From York. So we had a blast going out there playing Chris's songs, and we played Skid Row a bunch. And, probably culminated in opening up for Sponge up at Reverb.
Oh yeah, I do remember him being pretty excited about that.
That was fun. That was probably the biggest stage we played on, biggest PA,
Reverb is a interesting room because
It
it's
is.
not a big club, but it feels like
It feels big.
It
It
feels
feels like-
huge.
it feels like
Feels
a old school, like just dirty. This is where all the cool
Like
stuff happens,
gymnasium or something.
right? But
Yeah.
when you're in there, it doesn't. It's not as big as people think it is, but it just feels. But you're always close to the stage. But it's a big stage. It's a weird feeling. That's in a very good way.
I was direct. I was running direct. I think you guys also play Head Rush.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
Never been to.
Very few tube amps these days for me.
Yeah.
So I plug in direct, and I remember when the sound guy put me in through the monitors and everything. I had a big cord, and I was just like, I was blown away.
Louder than my
It was
amp.
awesome.
You don't drag any extra equipment anymore.
I have a solid state power amp, the Seymour Duncan Power Stage 170 or something, so I can drive a cabinet with that. But it's mostly just for looks and monitoring myself.
Okay.
It's not.
Now
we try to manage the stage.
you use
volume.
ears.
Sometimes I have them.
Not a
but
fan.
I like them.
Okay.
It's just trying to get everyone else comfortable with it because like everyone has to be on board.
Well, it
Right,
took
that's the
us till what, a month and a half ago to get all 5 of us on ears.
Yep. There was a point where 4 out of the 5 of us were wearing ears, and then we
monitor-
finally got.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone else is running sound, the venue, the house, whatever, the festival, if someone else is running sound, I'll take wedges all day, every day. It's just it's just easy. But yeah, I see the value in wedges or ears. I like to use them when I can.
For me, it's
protection.
a singing thing. I save my voice. My voice is stronger because of them, and I've been told for years that if I get up and do a set like to help somebody out, or I get up and have a song or something, and there's wedges, depending on the level of it's hard or rock or whatever I'm doing.
It'll take you a minute.
Well, everybody tells me, man, you just your performance was better.
Mm.
Not that it sounded better. Like, you're just more into it. I'm like, because I was blasting myself in the face and I overperformed to myself. So I realized, like, I can hear it in a different way. I'm like, well, if that's what everybody hears, let's just get going with this.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one in the world. I know that, but feedback
Oh, yeah.
is like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Nobody
and-
likes feedback.
Having ears and not having a wedge in front of me. So when we do play, someone has a wedge and I, just by pure mistake, catch some of my own feedback, I get very angry with myself. I'm like, I'm just used to no wedges being there. And that gets weird. It's just,
It does reduce the
our volume control
chance
is
for feedback.
outstanding now that we got all 5, because Rich was the last holdout.
Yeah, I
But
think
Rich
I was
was
listening to your last podcast, and you guys were talking about that.
Rich
Pretty
was
much basic drums.
Rich
Yeah.
was taking his he has the head rush
Like a wedge,
wedge, the
essentially.
power, the
Oh, yeah,
FFR
the
wedge.
FR
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And it was great, but it was loud. And then he had a wedge in front of him for vocals and everything else. And those are gone now. He's gone 100. As soon as he said, I'm going to do my ears, I'm going to go 100% direct. And our bass player ended up stopped bringing his bass amp, and I've been trying to get that going for a long time. And he and I have been using ears.
It's great for rehearsal too. Just like when you're in a basement, we rehearse at my basement. It's a nice finished basement. We got room, but it's loud in there, especially
Right.
Sean is a loud drummer. He's an energetic, great drummer, but it's loud, and it's just nice to have the in-ears
Jimmy.
to kind of.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
I play with Jimmy. Yeah.
Jimmy can hit the drums. Jimmy, I've said this many times, and I hate when he listens and gets a big head, but Jimmy is probably not only the best drummer I've ever played with, but he's probably top 5 musicians I know. If he wanted to, he could probably with time on it again, he could probably outplay a couple of us on guitar. You've never seen that side of Jimmy. Jimmy can
Playing guitar?
Jimmy can play guitar, and Jimmy can sing.
I'd
He
love to
can
see that.
he can outsing me again if he was in practice with it, but
He did backup vocals during the Creed.
his backup vocals when we were in Johnny Chimpo, and I've said this many times, the best harmonies I've ever had with someone.
Is he singing with Ghostlight?
He wanted to get.
Something
He
like
was
that,
out
yeah.
of shape for drumming. He was just out of the game. He wanted to get back into it. Well, it's been a year now, and he keeps saying he needs to get back into it. He's getting a mic sooner or later because I would
headset or like the little
no
overhead?
boom.
Oh, he
Yeah.
should have a headset, like a Phil Collins
Look,
headset.
headsets.
Oh.
Headsets with drummers that play like that. That my heavy cover band Fell From Zero. My drummer Jake, when we first started, had a headset, but he was also in Green Eggs for years, and they did party music, so he didn't have to worry about a lot of blowback. We started playing rock and metal, and the mic was terrible and he was screaming into it. He does a lot of background heavy vocals. I'm like, we can't do that with those things. Now Jimmy could get away with it, but he won't. Out of pure spite, like, I'm not putting one of those Backstreet Boy mics on. I know what he's going to say. We did for years. He had a boom. When he wasn't using it, he just kicked it out of his way. But sound guys hate it because it's a nightmare for cymbals, especially a guy that hits like he does. But he's also controlled. This Tom says all the time.
Yeah.
Jimmy could let loose. He doesn't.
Yeah, I appreciate the sound guy's concerns. Just running sound for my band. Like anytime there's one extra microphone that's like only going to get used for like an ooh or an ah once in a while, it's like, why even have it? Just get rid of it. It's
walk
just
over
one
and
more
use this
thing
one.
to
Yeah.
manage.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I was curious about gear wise if you drag anything out with you other than.
So I have a 412 cab Marshall that, you know, if we play at like Phantom Power or something,
Right.
we'll just haul that out just for some stage presence. Tell us, you know, the monitor situation there in the front, they have some small wedges.
Yep.
It's a little lacking, so I have a little 112 Marshall cab that I'll throw
Behind you.
there. Yep. But otherwise, no. Most other places, if it's a big club, no, or if it's if we're just acoustic duo, trio, or even just a full band where we have just, you know, subwoofer and two 12-inch tops, just running the head rush.
I love the head rush. There are people I know there's many other people online that do not like them for whatever reason. I've had zero problems with mine. You really haven't any problems with yours either.
What model do you have? The
I have
MX-5 or the full?
I have the core.
I have the MX-5.
I bought the core because of I had the MX-5. I sold it and got the core because I wanted the vocal effects, which I have used like one time. I wanted it for the acoustic gigs, so I'd have something.
I use it for both.
But I have not used them. I don't use them at our gigs. Our original sound guy, Scott, who is a professional, works for Claire Brothers. He's like, you turn that thing off. You give me a direct line. I don't want it. It's noisy. I don't. He just was very adamant against. In fact, he filled in for us 2 weeks ago. The first Halloween show we did, and he's like, "Are you running effects out of that?" I hear something like, "No, Scott, it's bypassed." Like, are you sure?
You mean for vocal? Or
yeah, for vocal. So I don't use it as much as I should, but that's why I bought it. And then he was talking about it too, but you never really got.
No,
you would talk about going to the Flex.
I'd much rather go for
because the same pedal spacing with newer stuff.
See, out of anything, I'd much rather go for the bigger one that's just
Prime.
for guitar.
You
Yeah,
wanna buy mine? It's not the new Flex Prime stuff. It's like the older generation pedal board.
We'll talk about that.
You want what? You want the expression pedal, the volume pedal on it.
Yeah, that was my big thing, is the expression pedal.
Because I don't need that, so I don't. There's no point for me to have.
Yeah, because he was trying to sell me on this one, and I was like, "There's no expression pedal."
You can add it in.
Well, yeah, but that's a lot of work.
Patch cable.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's probably like gonna crackle and.
I gotta take this
so
pedal
much work.
It's stupid.
But like, like for our stuff, like when we do play the funky music and Pony and stuff, like I use my wah so much.
Yep. Agreed.
Also, I don't know if you noticed, I was fucking around with the effects during Pony on Saturday.
I didn't.
Dude, I had my Octaver on there, and I had the auto wah. Dude, I wanted the most obnoxious blop, 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 blop.
Do it. That's the song to get away with it. When we're playing the Magic Mike stripper song, you play whatever you need to. No one's going to care. They're all just, the women are dancing, have a good time. Nobody cares. Actually, I missed that. Which song is it you do the little Slayer riff in? Or Cowards from Hell, I mean.
Oh, I do that in Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah.
Because Dave and I started doing it together.
It cracks me out. I'm trying to like keep it together to sing the next line here. I'm like, God, come on, man.
Because it's in the little
Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, it's the little bridge section, and I was like, well, it's in E, so I just started doing the little Cowboys from Hell riff.
But it's not.
What?
It's not really. You know where they're not technically in that key.
Well,
yeah, anyway,
you know what I mean.
Because Mac thought he was super cool, and it was like 1% down on everything.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, I was doing it for the longest time, and then Dave recently, he goes, where you play that? I said, I play it and Don't You Forget About Me. And he goes, I'm gonna do it too. And so on
I don't think anybody notices. No one in the crowd really.
No, that is a service for just us.
Did I hear that? No, I guess not.
Now you just have to do like a brief diversion, do like a minute or two.
God, that would be so
just
good.
Throw everybody off
that,
guard.
That
like
is
3 people in the crowd who go nuts.
Yeah, that is a self-service for us.
Idea.
That is something we just did for us.
It'd be fun.
Everyone would be like, what was that?
I tried doing other ones, but I gotta toy around with what else can fit in that little.
Once more, like, what a great idea! Oh no, shouldn't have done this live. Yeah, we it's just like our constantly shifting verses and Pony the way we do it.
Yeah,
every week one of us has to come up with something new.
I gotta see if I can.
Probably a late in the night kind of song.
Oh yeah,
that is always one of our last 3.
There's rooms I don't have it on the set list because I'm not sure, and then we'll get to the end of the night. I'm like, No, it's the right amount of drunk ladies in the 30 to 40 range. They're gonna love this. Play pony. I'll just have a pony, and Rich is all like, wow.
Oh, Rich is always so excited because you hear
because we couldn't play that in the band before Andy and Doug left. Our original members that left last year, that wasn't a song they would have allowed. But I was doing it and nailed it some other project for years. Dave used to do it one of his projects. And when they came on board, and Rich is like, we gonna do it? I'm like, I don't think Ghostlight's the pony band, but all right, our first gig. Tell us.
We are now.
Did we do it at Tell
I was
Us?
like, let's try it. And it went over like crazy. And I'm like, well, I guess that's in the set. Because literally 4 of us already had been playing.
Yeah.
It was new to Rich. And now he loves playing.
Yeah, because we have our little like mini set of what I call the horse songs. Because it's Pony, Pink Pony Club,
Save
and
a
then
Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Yeah. Old Town Road or whatever.
Oh.
Yo, we could throw that into Pony.
That could go into Pony. Full of ideas here, folks.
You heard it here first, folks.
We are now stealing Andy's ideas of completely songs that we wrote. Yeah, not covers at all. Now,
you're stealing my cover idea.
Back to the head, because we all unfortunately play the same song. The head rush thing. Have you found like you use a lot of the presets and stuff, or did you dial in your own thing?
I deleted all of them.
Really?
Yeah, all the factory presets sound like crap. So I download some IRs if you ever mess with that.
Yeah. I do that too.
Number one, I hate fiddling with all the menus and stuff. So it took me a while. I love playing with gear. I like buying different gear, trying different guitars, amps, and pedals and stuff. And I'll never stop doing that. But I hate menu diving and tweaking like the high EQ on the reverb to make it sound just right. Once you get into a room and you play it, it's just all
it's off anyway. It loses every situation's different. Yeah.
So I just want like a crunch sound that sounds like a Marshall and sound pretty decent, and an IR helped with that. What's your question?
How much of the presets and stuff you use? And
So I have a crunch preset that I can kind of clean up. I have some overdrive pedals like virtually in there, and delay. That's pretty much all I use, and then a little wah pedal. Now I did buy the big head rush pedal board because I thought like, well, I want a second delay in case I want to do some like U2 stuff or some chorus. But then I realized I just don't want to haul that big pedal board out because I also have my wireless and the little.
It's a lot. Those pedals are enormous. The core is big enough. I had to buy a whole new pedal board. In fact, you have my old pedal board.
Yeah, mine is his old one.
I'm not using MX5 anymore, and you are, and I can't fit. I got to go buy a whole new pedal board to fit this thing in.
But I use the same MX5 for all my electric guitar sounds, and then I can bust out the acoustic, plug it in, and I have an acoustic patch.
Yeah.
And so I use the same thing. I get a lot of use out of that.
I love the acoustic patch on mine that I dialed in some stuff that worked. And I've been messing around with different electric patches, but I was just curious because I spent a lot of times on forums and stuff, guys, that's why I learned about it with the IR stuff and finding places to get those, and it makes a huge difference.
Yep.
And there's a lot of guys that have kind of done the work with very little. Yep. If you go on one of the forums and say, I need this sound, I'm looking for the approximation of this sound, pretty much someone's done it already, except that Beartooth sound. We can't find anybody who's figured it out. You haven't even got it down yet.
I'd love to try like the neural DSP, Cortex stuff.
Oh yeah,
I've never tried that, or like Fractal. But again, it's like a whole nother ecosystem to learn.
Fractal is something that both my guitar players and Fell From Zero, they both have Fractals. My friend BJ was in Ghostlight till he passed. He's the one who turned me on Head Rush for the cost, but he was a Fractal. He actually had when the pedals came out. He's like, I'm getting one of these. I'm not using the Head Rush anymore.
I understand they like led the way.
I understand their stuff now is, and you got the guys getting the Kempers and stuff that are just.
I always wanted
to
try
a Kemper.
Skill or time. It was kind of weird, like the user interface. The Head Rush has the easiest user interface.
I saw that Line 6 is doing a new Helix that drops.
Stadium.
It just dropped or is dropping. And
a lot of guys use the Line 6.
A lot of guys love the Line 6. And I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I prefer the Head Rush, but it sounds like the Stadium has a lot of things in it.
I think it's just whatever you're comfortable with.
It sounds like
they can all sound good.
Yep.
And they can all sound really bad.
Well, compared to digital modeling, when it was first kind of becoming affordable, was awful. It didn't sound good.
Little Digitech RP.
Yeah, it sounded terrible. But the idea was like, I have all this stuff in my
Line 6 Beam pod thing.
Oh, the pods were so bad. Hell, I have a Line 6 Pod
Zoom?
X3.
You ever have anything by Zoom?
Or Pod HD. Yeah, I had a Zoom pedal. It's one of the first pedals somebody gave it to me. I have a Pod HD pedal that's over there somewhere.
I still have my.
He went to like the nicer side. He's like, "You want this?" I'm like, "I'll keep it in here so I have something to play through." So I wasn't really playing that much anyway. It just sits. I think one of the outputs is bad on it. It just sits in dust.
Like a lot of distortion sounds like what is it? Like bunch of bees in a can.
Oh, so the Line 6 digital stuff was terrible, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Yeah.
They figured it out, and I know those stadium boards have the ability now to like break down stems. You can track out of them. I think that's a little insane because that would be like for guys that do tracks and have their laptop there. Now you're going to put in your pedal board something that theoretically could have a drink spilled on it, or you could lose your whole show.
Yeah.
Like, I think that seems like a lot to have at your feet and not in a, but that's.
Yeah, I've actually never done tracks with any of my bands, and I'm not against it. I want there to be enough of a human element still playing.
Right.
But it's just a matter of logistics, really. That we haven't done that.
We've done sampling, and some of the stuff in Fell From Zero, we actually did some click track. Some of the covers we did, there was stuff in them we couldn't reproduce. So we built around the sample and put click tracks on it, but never like full on wrote stuff with, and there's a lot of cover bands that, if there's key parts and stuff you don't have a member for, there's a lot of use to that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But there's guys that rely on it. I know it's in a ridiculous amount of bands now that don't have a bass player or they track the bass. And like, I guess if you want to get the show down, but what gets me is like original bands that do that. Like they'll just write the bass parts and I get maybe you don't find, there isn't somebody that you want that plays the bass the way you want, but you couldn't find like a guy to come again, like Chris did. I need some people to play my stuff live with me. Yeah. It's stop being so damn picky. Like, if the tracks are there, if the guy can learn it, I don't know. I guess that's just my personal thing. I'd rather see it played.
If you have a schedule, you're on tour, somebody has to drop out for some reason. Like, you just have to get by, but not as like
the main thing. And there are bands that like pride themselves. There's a guy I know that just restarted a band. He was in a band for years. It was locally, it was very good. And they're a 2-piece, drums and guitar and vocals. And that's what they're going to go out and do. But I guarantee,
huge because it's all.
I guarantee you there'll be tracked bass lines. He's not just going to go out and be a 2-part band. I know they're not. And it probably will sound good in a PA, but I don't know. I guess the human element disappears, which I don't know. Sadly, I think we're in a world where the human element's going to start disappearing more than we'd like, especially music. I'm not an anti-AI guy. That's a whole other can of beans for some people. I am not against what it can do. I'm against how people are using it.
It's a double-edged sword.
Right. Yep. It is quote unquote stealing from everybody who ever made a thing, but it's also super useful for non-musical things.
It'll transform a lot of things for good and a lot of things negatively.
All technology does.
Yep.
Yeah. But
us live musicians have been fighting DJs for a long time now.
Yep. And now we're fighting robot DJs who can write better.
I need to get a DJ in my band.
Who can write better songs than us, unfortunately. Just give them I want these 4 chords and here's some lyrics. And bam, there's a song. Damn it, I could have done that.
Yeah. Right now we can pretty sort of tell good enough.
Yeah,
it's AI.
But there's some that are.
Tells, but it's getting.
Even some of the AI video stuff is getting pretty slick, and that's scary. I mean, sometimes like the stuff my wife sends me where there's, dogs talking or driving cars. They're clearly AI. They look good, but I mean, they're clearly not real. But there are some that are pretty slick, and that's only going to get better. And does that force all of us out of a job? I don't think anybody's going to hire an AI DJ for a club that wants live music. Not in the time that we're doing it. That could be something down the road that exists.
AI DJ, I guarantee you that's going to happen sooner than we think.
Yeah. You know who that's going to hurt? Wedding DJs, I think, more than anything. That's going to hurt guys who do weddings, because if it can be programmed and you just need somebody to make sure it does the job.
You ever do a wedding?
Yes, I've done a couple. I've DJ'd a couple, and I've played 2 over the years. Now, one was my brother-in-law's wedding, so he just wanted us to play.
Gig's a gig.
He just wanted us to play. It wasn't the greatest of events, but I've not done anything really high end that some people get into, and I'm a little fearful of that because there is a level of professional
pressure.
Yep,
because it's their biggest day one of their biggest days of their lives.
Yep. Maybe not their only one
that screws it up.
Maybe not the only one they ever have, unfortunately. But that's the way it works now. But yeah, I talked for a while. There was a gap I had in between music too, where I was talking to people about starting a wedding. Dave was one of them. We were talking about doing a wedding band, strictly a wedding band, a corporate kind of wedding band. And then we realized how much, not that we were afraid of the work, but how much work that would involve for a bunch of people who had day jobs. Yeah. Like there's a lot of time to be put in to professionally do that. that you need every hour of the day, at least to start to make sure everything's tight. And we just didn't have the time. I know plenty of people that do it, those kind of gigs for a living, and they excel at it, but they're also like 7-8 piece bands. They got horns and keys and 7 guitar players and whatever they need to make the shows work. And that's where you really get into it. But the stress of DJing and having to announce stuff and
time
too. Oh yeah,
you want to be set up before the ceremony happens.
Yep. It's a day.
You're probably planning with the bride and groom like ahead of time.
I need these songs.
Meeting.
I need this. Yeah.
Yep, custom.
And the fact that a normal gig, maybe we give up 6 hours of our day, depending on travel, let's say. That's literally a day, if not 2 days, depending. You might have to go the night before and set up for it's a lot. And I did low scale ones, but I don't. If someone, we did
one like medium, nice wedding.
We did one, a nice outdoor one. That was before you were in the band, right? Ghostlight?
The what? Yeah.
Or were you not able to make that? No, it was before you joined.
Yeah.
We did when it was like out on a farm. It was a nice setup, but they put us in a weird position, but we had a great time. But we just went up there basically and did what we do at any show because that's what they wanted us to do.
If that's what they
so there was no extra prep involved. We just had to be there early. And I mean, it was up on a mountain somewhere. It was a pain in the ass to get to, but
the one I did, it was like, tucking in the cables, trying to make everything look nice and presentable. We're wearing like khakis and white shirts, we're
right down
a little bit.
The outfits. Like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, they basically instructed us to wear something nice, but they wanted us to basically wear black, which isn't like, a lot of bands that we wasn't our thing. Just, wear a collar shirt. You know what Andy wore? A black t-shirt and black shorts.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, our bass player. He's an older gentleman. He retired from. He was the original member of the band, one of the original guys, but that was his thing. It didn't matter what time of year it was. That man had shorts on and some sort of t-shirt on everywhere we went. He was 65 and damn it, he was going to be comfortable playing his bass. And he was. He was having a great time. But yeah, weddings are, I don't know. I would do it. If someone asked Ghostlight to play a wedding, it would again be that situation. Well, we want your band to play our wedding.
We're out there marketing for it.
You guys,
the roommates are.
You have a setup for that though. You have something that people would want to see in a wedding band, I think, from just seeing you guys one time and seeing what you have out online, the look feel of what you guys do and what you're playing, the fact you have a female who can sing so well, that's appealing to brides.
Yeah.
It really is. And that kind of event, you guys have will have a much better go with that, at least getting in, I think.
We've talked with several couples who are planning their weddings for next year. We haven't exactly lined one up, but we have a couple like dates held.
Well, you always get those. Oh, well, hey, we'd love to have you play. Let me get your information. And
but I'll tell you, the roommates trio, just the three of us, just played Southern Market this past Saturday.
I saw that. I was going to ask you. I want to ask you how that went too. But
that was awesome. So the Southern Market's interesting, because you get there, they want you to play 8 to 10. So you get there, you set up at 8. The place is packed because it's Saturday night and a bunch of families and stuff are there. So your first couple songs hit really well. Some people get up and dance, and it's not really like a club. Like
right.
People are there socializing, but you don't want to be too loud. But it's amazing for like the first half hour, and then by 8:30, 8:45, the families clear out, and it gets pretty quiet in there. So sometimes we're kind of like just kind of background music, just kind of chill.
Some of the gigs, unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Yeah. So that's what happened like usual, and then at like 9:30, we think we're going to kind of coast out till 10 o'clock. We see this bus pull up outside. And everyone starts coming in like matching suits and bridal dress. And
I saw you post about this, that you turned it into a wedding reception.
We saw them come in for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20 people. And we're like, holy crap, something's happening here. And then we saw the bride's dress come in. And we're like, okay, this is a wedding party. And, you put your heads together. It's like, what do we know? Let's go into wedding mode right now. And we played Marry You by Bruno Mars. Immediately, the bride and the groom, they just came from their wedding reception, I think. This was like
the after party, basically. Yeah.
So they came up, they started dancing, and then we became a wedding band. They paid off the bar to stay open an extra hour, and they paid us to play an extra hour. And we just became a wedding band for an hour.
I did see a post, and I was like, that's pretty awesome. Because we've had people come in late like that, but not an entire wedding.
Like 35 people.
Yeah, not the entire reception. We have people come from, oh, you guys were at a wedding. Cool. Hey, congratulations. Not like that. That's you were able to pivot.
Yeah,
some bands would have just finished what they were doing and go home.
Immediately, right on the spot.
Yep.
And every song was then catered to them. And it went great. And we got some extra pay for that. And they hugged us at the end of the night.
Oh.
It was like,
I like a good
I've had
hug.
a couple experiences like that. We did a private party. It was a birthday party at somebody's house, and by the end of the night, they were giving us hugs, and like they want to follow the band, and it's a cool feeling.
It's nice to entertain people and have it be shown, like
Appreciate it.
yeah, because people can say all the time, well, I do this for me, or I do this for the love of music, but I personally, and I've said this for years, I'm in a cover band because I want to entertain people. I want people to be entertained. If they're not, then I'm not doing what I'm doing. If I want to do music for myself, I should be writing music.
It feels good to play riffs on guitar, but if nobody's out there paying attention,
you can do that on the couch.
Yes.
You don't have to play out. I want people to have a good time, and that's why I've always focused on that, and that's served me well enough. And I don't think some people get that. I guess I teach their own. Whatever. I think it's whatever you want to get out of it, but I think there's a bigger reward, emotionally, or whatever you want to call it, from getting an appreciation like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, a hug because they thought you did such a good job is
made somebody's night special.
It's kind of awesome. Like that's an awesome feeling. Yeah. It's a story to tell. It's a feeling you have. You can lock onto that. I mean, you may never experience it again. You probably will in that situation, but some people will chase that feeling like it's a drug. But I've known guys that do that from their stage experience. There's a guy that the war stories. Well, back when I played and we played, in an arena, we opened up for somebody. Well, you're never going to do that again, and you're still chasing it. Like, not saying you couldn't, but the odds are that's not going to happen again. That's kind of exponentially out of range. But giving somebody a good time at a party and having them follow you and come see you again and tell you.
For a second there, I thought you were telling me I peaked and I should just give
them. That's actually why we brought you here tonight. We just wanted to tell you that it's over. You got a longer future than I probably do. I'm going to end up, I've said this for years. It's part of the reason I decided I wanted to play and sing, because at some point, no one's going to want to deal with my shit anymore. And I'm going to be that guy. I used to say the guy in the coffee house by himself, no one's paying attention to. But I don't think anybody plays in coffee houses anymore. But, I'd like to be, till I can't play, I will play. And if it's not in a band, it's just me alone, so be it. And that's kind of why I got into the management side and stuff, because I thought, well, at least there's a way to stay in the business. I don't see myself ever being out of this business in some way. I enjoy it too much. I say that now, but I've been saying that for a long time. I never really wanted to quit. I've been frustrated. We all get frustrated, but I just, this is keeping me in that, there's avenues for it. So
meeting cool people out there.
I would hope that there is no peak. There are some guys that peaked. I've met them long before they were peaked, long before I met them, but I would hope there is none for me, because I won't allow it. There might not be as high. It might not hit the heights I want to hit, or getting up. I mean, Ghostlight's the most successful thing I've ever done. I played some really big rooms outside of that and done some things, but it's a consistent basis of people coming out and us having a good time. And for the most part, besides us playing in Maryland, we're a local band. We're regional maybe, but we're a local band. And I'm good with that. I'm good with having a room full of people every week and have a good time, as opposed to,
it's more than a lot of musicians.
Well, I played Hershey last week. Okay. And you did that one time, and that's super cool, but you did that one time. We do something for someone every week, and I'd rather not give that up, but everybody's got their own agenda, I guess. That's not even the right word, but that might be.
Yeah.
But I mean, you find your own reasons to do it. It sounds like you thought you were done with it, and it drew you back in, and that can happen too.
Yeah. I didn't know it was something I wanted to do, but once I got that little taste of it, it's like,
it'll be hard. Always be hard for you to let it go. I would bet on it, especially since you said your kid's what, 14?
Yep.
You've got a couple years, and then you've got a little bit of freedom. Trust me from experience. There's going to come a point. Your son, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, your son's old enough that you can be out doing this stuff. Mine, when I started, was 9, and he was running with my bandmates all the time. So he was at an age where I could spend more time out playing, and we could play. Back then, we could play all the time. He's going to be 34 soon, so it's been a while. But I was able to see that right away. And then all my bandmates, because they were much younger than me, started having kids. I'm like, well, we can't play anymore. I'm like, well, you got some time, and now that all their kids are getting into these ages, I'm like, you're pretty close that you're going to be calling me, hey, can you play out again? I never stopped, man. I never quit. I think you'll find, I would assume just from talking to you now, you'll still be playing in 4 or 5 years. And when he's out doing his thing and you have a little more time, you'll find all these things opened up that maybe weren't there that you didn't even know were there just because of time. Planning the things you have to plan around what he's got going on, and being a parent and a musician is something. And I can't imagine how it is for people who do it full time, like literally only like are touring and stuff. Like I don't know how they can like have a family. And I mean, there's certainly a million horror stories from the 80s and 90s about overindulgence, but that was because they weren't told any better. It's funny to me how those guys wasted so much of their time drugs and drinking and partying when you don't hear about that anymore, because it was, oh, no, I need my money, man. Like, I can't imagine anybody having that kind of debauchery anymore, but that's why it's a moment in time. But I'm sure there are guys who party it up. We got to know somebody. Nah, not in our circles. Not us. Well, we have that weird range of a bunch of old dudes and you, so there's no middle ground. We have no 30-somethings.
Story of my life.
It's all
Bring
you.
down the average age.
I've always been the youngest member of the band.
You in the late 20s, and then we jumped to 40 and over. So, yeah, that's true. But you are. I say all that you're an old soul. Your musical tastes are older than mine. So that's probably why you fit in so well.
That reminds me. I didn't tell you the pre-sale that I put myself in for. I put myself in for the Mickey Dolenz Monkees 60th anniversary tour.
Go for it. He's a big Monkees fan.
Love the Monkees.
Which is completely weird to me. I'd like the Monkees too when I was a kid, but that was a long time ago.
The Monkees were one of my first concerts. I think they were my second or third concert. I saw them at the Hershey Theater.
They were already old then. They were old when I was watching them because the shows had been long in syndication for 20 years.
Weird Al was my first concert.
He was my first concert.
This man has a Weird Al tattoo.
Get that on camera. Get that on the camera B.
There we go.
Oh wow, look at that thing.
With his signature underneath it.
I've been a Weird Al fan. Well, honestly, longer than either one of you have been alive, and I've never seen him. I've never had the opportunity. Every time he came around, I couldn't go. I had a gig. My son has seen him twice. I haven't seen him.
I think I've seen him 3 times. It was supposed to be 4, but
you just rubbing it in, or
no. I was supposed to see him a 4th time, but my mom got me the tickets, and I got the dates mixed up, and I missed it because we had a Ghostlight gig.
Oh, I feel real bad.
No, but he was my first concert in Reading.
Mine was York.
Okay, on what tour? Do you remember?
This would have been like mid 2005 or something. Was that Running with Scissors? I'm not sure.
Okay, Running with Scissors. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I had the T-shirt. Yeah.
I saw him on the Straight Outta Linwood tour in Reading. He was at the Performing Arts Theater.
That was new Weird Al.
Yeah. But then in 2019, the summer of 2019, my family chipped in to get me the VIP package to meet him.
That's the signature.
Yeah, that's where I got his signature.
Did you actually sign it right there? Or
well, I already had the picture of him tattooed on me, and I went to my artist and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go meet him, and I want to get his signature tattooed on me." And my previous autograph tattoos, because I have Alice Cooper on the back of my leg and Wednesday 13 on my ankle. She's like, if you're going to go do this, don't have him sign your leg like marker to skin. She's like, have him sign something and I'll transfer it. So I took, because of being in the VIP package, I got a commemorative poster that was made for that specific show. And I was like, well, perfect. This is what I'll have him sign. And so he was signing the front of it, and I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to have this signature tattooed on me underneath my Weird Al tattoo. And he's like, you have a Weird Al tattoo? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, can I see it? And so I'm standing there with a bunch of other, jabronis, and I lift my leg because this is middle of summer. I'm rocking shorts. So I lift, and he's like, oh my God, wait, I need to take a picture of this. So then I got Weird Al taking pictures of my leg as I'm like just holding on to the shoulders of random people just so I could stay upright. But then he's like, well, if this is going to get tattooed, I want it to look good. So he flipped the poster over and signed it real big on the back of the poster. So that poster has 2 Weird Al signatures on it.
I've never seen him once. He's got 2 signatures.
The amount of his autographs that I have just in collection, because I have his book that's signed on the inside that I got as like Christmas presents and stuff. And I've got like a whole case of every one of his albums that came out on cassette. Like, I got a huge Weird Al collection.
First time hearing about this, actually, which is weird because we talk about Weird Al many times off camera and on.
Oh my God. I have so much Weird Al, just like memorabilia and collections and books and
UHF, you ever watch UHF?
oh my God, I love UHF.
I just listened not too long ago. Confused Breakfast, another one of my favorite podcasts. They reviewed UHF like,
Oh really?
I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago.
I'd
forgotten because I hadn't watched it in so long. So they're explaining the movie. Man, I've forgotten how ridiculous that movie and how much fun
It's
it
so
is.
good.
It's well.
Listen, this is one thing that anybody who talks to me, don't take my movie recommendations.
Oh Lord, no.
Because I tell Bob like one of my favorite horror movies is Tusk, and
Look, as
Is this a good time for a bathroom break?
it is, yeah. Because we're
we
off
have to fight.
off the camera here. There's a bunch of Kevin Smith stuff. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I'm not a Kevin Smith horror movie fan. I've never seen it because even he says it's not a great movie. You love that
I
movie.
love
I had our playlist playing again today, just because I was going over those new covers, and I let it play back over the newer ones, and I am thoroughly enjoy that version of Baby One More Time just because he's doing it. It's the Tenacious D version he did for Kung Fu Panda. That's the version that we decided to do. Jimmy decided that he wanted to do that version. I'm like, well, that's better than just doing random Britney Spears. What the hell? But it's just because there's those little Jack Black things in it that just make it fun.
Yeah, I love doing those light pop songs with Millennial because we rock it up a little bit.
I was going to ask you, where does your like song list swing like as far as like years or stuff for that band?
For Millennial, it's Cozy's available at the next Millennial. It's 90s and 2000s.
Can you get the QR while on video? We'll see if you zoom in on it.
There's a website I pay way too much for.
I do too. Yes, I have 2 that I pay too much for anyway.
But it's satisfying having a website.
It is. It is. When I finally did it, I was like, yeah.
So it's like 90s and 2000s. If you looked at a bell curve, it's like right around 2000 is the median. So back when Chris Sheeler was fronting the band, we leaned into the alternative grunge kind of stuff. So
Works.
STP
Works for his style. Yeah.
Foo Fighters, Blink-182. And now with the female vocalist, we kind of lean back. I like leaning into more of the 2000s. We'll go all the way up to like 2010, but there's no hard and fast rules about what you have to do. But branding, marketing, you kind of want to be known for something. So
right, and you're not
late 90s, early 2000s.
You're not 100% pigeonholing yourself into it. We're a 90s band. We're a 2000s band. I see where you're.
But it's definitely different than the Roommates, which is a total variety band. We do anything from like Johnny Cash all the way up to Pink Pony Club, anything. Anything and everything. And that band, we kind of read the room. Is this more of a country room? Is this more of a oldies room? Is this
we kind of do that way
we
too,
try to do the same thing.
That's half the fun of it. Just kind of mix it up every night. Just kind of.
I'm often surprised.
Read your intuition.
When you think you're reading the room the right way. And like, well, they're not going to be into this. And somebody's like, well, they asked for it. Let's just play it. And then the whole room erupts. I'm like, I did not see that. I've been doing this a long time. I should have seen that coming. I did not. You know when that happens a lot now? Creed.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Creed's having a bit of a moment.
Well,
they are, right?
Over the weekend when we played at Antietam Brewery.
Yeah, someone asked for it. And I'm like, well, it's not on the list tonight. I didn't think that would be the place for it. Let's go ahead and play it. And people like lost their damn minds.
We do higher.
We should be doing Sacrifice, though.
Or One Last Breath.
If you want to do that song right, you got to do that open D5 tuning.
Well,
it sounds so much better that way.
Last Breath would be all right, but I think unless we just want the frat boys singing the chorus, like the rest of that song doesn't move the pace we need it to.
That's fair.
So I saw Creed. My wife and I went on the. You've ever seen these rock and roll cruises?
Yeah.
We did the cruise from Miami to the Bahamas, and it was the summer of '99 tour.
The one that just recent was that just last year before?
Last year that was the second year in a row they did it. I went to the original.
Okay.
And that was the first time Creed had reunited since like
2009. Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was,
I thought it was way before that.
It was a while.
So that was cool. I recommend one of those rock and roll.
I've never seen them.
I mean, they sound great.
I mean, I was.
Mark Tremonti is one of my like.
I have seen.
David Gilmour, Mark Tremonti, and Slash.
Tremonti is. I said this when I finally got
Maybe
to see.
Angus Young too.
I saw his band in Baltimore a couple years ago. Yeah, and I one thing besides the fact that he's amazing, and I knew that already, was how good everyone else in the band was. Like just top tier. The guitar, the rhythm guitar players.
With, Wolfgang playing with them or no?
No.
He played with them.
He played for a little bit. No, he was not, because that would have been at least been nice to see too. But just how damn good he is live. Like I had never seen it, but I'd said something about, at least for those songs, I don't remember a damn one of those songs. Like not one of the Tremonti like originals.
Yeah.
But I remember how good he was at it. You know what I mean?
All right. He's never gonna see this, Mark Tremonti. Hey, shout out.
Please do.
I saw him when he first spun up his original Tremonti band. He played it at the Chameleon Club,
right?
And I saw him there. And they went to launch into one song. He had swapped guitars between the two songs. They went to launch into the song. Drums, bass, no guitar. He freaked out. He's looking around. He forgot to plug in his guitar.
So he's human,
so
like everyone else.
Like, multi
rock god
Grammy
human,
winning, multi-platinum, whatever, top of the heap kind of.
We all do it.
We all do it.
Yep. We all have our nights. Yeah, he was
a stupid little thing, but
I've done it so many times.
He was. Yeah. I mean, I've told that story a few times. That. Yeah, I remember every bit of him playing and how good he was, but I don't remember any of the songs. Now, if that was a Creed show, I would have known every song. Yeah. I mean, I was into Creed. God, I am the old man in this room. I've said this many times. When they came out, and we were all blown away in the late 90s there about how good. I think it was probably 99, 98, 99 when My Own Prison came out. Maybe earlier than that. It might have been 97. I don't know. I don't need to go back and forth. Like how amazing they were. And then you can...
So you liked them before they were cool?
We were watching their...
I was going to say that.
We were hipsters.
But you wouldn't admit it back then.
We were watching them. We were watching them decline in real time. It was the craziest thing. Like you watched him become the Scott Stapp of the jokes, and the fact that they're doing so now and he sounds good, because there was a point there he did not sound good at all when they were trying to restart and he was doing his own thing. They really do sound good now, and I'm kind of sorry I didn't get to go see him this time. I mean, I'll still get chances because I just saw this week they're writing.
Yeah, I saw that.
New material.
I saw that too. Yeah.
So I'll get my chance.
I saw them. What was that? 2 years ago when they were in Hershey.
That's when I would have had my chance.
It was Creed, Three Doors Down, and Finger 11, and holy shit! Like I love Creed, and you know this, but like I didn't expect to have as much fun as I did, because I was like, okay, I'm going to see Creed, like. Sure, but I left and I was like, oh my god, like they sounded phenomenal, and like even the openers, like Three Doors Down, they were cool. Finger 11, I was actually really blown away by, like, for the 3 songs I knew by them.
I never got into that song Paralyzer.
I played that song for years, and it's a fun bouncy riff to kind of go off of, but nothing else about them. I knew 311 from when they were still pretty heavy, and then they came out with that one song, and that's all people knew them for, and suddenly that's kind of what their vibe became.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ever very heavily into them, but Paralyzer was fun to play for people.
I get that.
But it wasn't... I mean, it's the biggest thing they ever did, and they probably ever will.
Yeah.
I mean, they still play, but
yeah,
I'm not rushing out to see them.
Yeah, I knew 3 songs from them, and they played 2 of them in their 25-minute set that they played. Because I know Paralyzer. Is that song called One, or is it called One Thing, or I don't know.
It might be One Thing.
And then I knew the song that they did for Kane when the
wrestling comes back.
I knew
Jake always brings wrestling back in.
Yeah, when Kane used Finger 11 as his entrance theme, like I knew.
Do you know Sean Groff, drummer? My drummer. He's worked at Drums Etc. for decades.
Maybe.
You should talk to him. He loves wrestling.
I mean,
oh boy,
if you like wrestling, we're friends.
Immediate friendship, kinship.
Like we just want natural conversation.
It's natural, and that's what this has been pretty much predicated on. It's nice how I love having guests because it gives us a third perspective, and it gives us stories that we can't overtell.
Not only that, we talk to each other almost on a daily basis.
So then we have to spend our time when there's no guest and no predictable subject matter. Right? So let's just say, what'd you do this week?
Yeah,
it's an episode, and that's what a lot of people do.
You guys rehearse, or are the gigs rehearsal?
The gigs are rehearsal.
Yeah, gigs.
We have a rehearsal twice a year, maybe. We had rehearsals twice last year with the 2 new members because we need to make sure they're up to speed. And we did one this year just a month and a half ago or so because Rich wanted to dial in his in-ears before we used them on stage. And that was to go over 3 new songs we're putting in the set. That's it.
Nice.
It's awesome. Pretty much our set list is pretty much autopilot. We're doing 3 new songs this weekend that we did not play together, and they might be bad. Who knows?
We'll figure that out tomorrow.
That's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah, we're sometimes they get worked out as we go, but for the most part, it work, and sometimes they don't work at all.
You live and you learn.
Yeah, there's been a handful that have had that scenario.
Once in a while, we put them in, they don't work. We think they'll work. We think people will be into them.
Oh my God, yeah, because we see it, and then we're all looking at each other like, fuck, we're losing them.
Go to Pony.
Yeah.
Pivot. Is everyone taking notes here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's like we were doing because we used to say it too when we would go from what were we doing? We went from one like high energy song, and then we would go into like Tennessee whiskey, and it's like here's something completely different.
Yep.
But
we did a lot more.
Sometimes we get requests for a slow dance song. People do want a slow dance.
That happened
when
to us.
When I joined Ghostlight, we had 2 or 3 a set because it was kind of an older draw a little bit because the older guys in the band, and they wanted that. They danced. They first note, the 70-year-old to 21-year-old, they were on their feet dancing or whatever they were playing, but they wanted that slow down couples thing. We've since kind of really phased that out.
It's a lot. It's hard to
find a sweet spot to throw it in.
A couple of shows, our Halloween show, the Marietta Legion, they asked us to close with a slow song. So we played Tennessee Whiskey. We've never had, and they packed a dance floor and did a slow dance for our last song. That's never happened. We're usually upbeat. I mean, we had just got done doing something high energy. I can't Pony or Save a Horse.
Probably Save a Horse.
And we're like, all right, guys, we're done. Like one more. And then the bar manager came up, can you please play a slow song? I'm like, ew.
Okay. Yeah.
I've closed more than one high energy show with "I Want It That Way" by Backstreet Boys. And
hell yeah!
Everybody just drops what they're doing.
I can see that being that song has its own like life. I see why that would work. Tennessee Whiskey does too, unfortunately. I mean, I don't have a problem with song, but there are people who are just tired of that was on that list I told you they read off of songs that people are tired of playing in cover bands.
Yep.
That was in the top 5. We used to do that. We did Ed Sheeran. We did Thinking Out Loud, which I enjoy singing actually because it's something I didn't think I'd want to do, and I enjoyed singing it. We did stuff like
14-year-old see him at the Lincoln Financial Field.
I actually don't mind him. There's people that get down on him, like, he's just up there doing his thing.
He'll loop live, and he'll mess up, and he'll have to restart the loops over.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Again, human.
Yeah.
He's a person.
Also, Headrush MX5, I use that looper all the time.
I have never used it yet, and I think I'm a little afraid of it because I never used a looper before for anything. But we've talked about it.
When it's just a duo with me on guitar and Allie singing, I use it all the time. But throwing a drummer, oh, man. And it's not the drummer's fault. It's not Justin's fault. It's me hitting that damn button right on beat, right on the one.
Right.
It's hard to do.
I bet.
You have to practice it.
Yeah, when you're the only guy driving the beat, it's not a big deal.
You can fudge it a couple.
We talked about doing stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
I think now Jimmy would probably be on it pretty good, but there's just that second that it has to be something you start.
Yeah.
So he can follow you, not the other way.
A drummer can, catch up and adjust once in a while if the beat's kind of getting off, but they have to be able to hear it. So if the mix isn't quite right, the monitors aren't quite right, it's just a train wreck.
Yeah, that's not something I've messed with yet, but I'd certainly like to. But I'm not. It'll be
a one guitar.
It'll be an acoustic thing. Yeah, it'll be an acoustic show thing where if I want to mess with it, I've seen guys.
Why I want one of those. I want to loop it on the acoustic side and then switch to the electric side for a little
bit. That'd be cool.
I love that.
Like my ultimate.
I love that they have the blend too.
Sorry, guys. There's a guitar that you can't see on camera.
That's my Godin. Yeah, don't worry about that. It's none of your damn business. No, that guitar because you can do the full blend of both or one or the other, or you can literally jack out.
He said out.
Phrasing. It literally has 2 input jacks, or 4 or 2 output jacks, I guess technically, for the blend or just the electric, which is kind of nice too. So, yeah, they are definitely worth it, but they do come with a price tag these days that they did not when I got that. I got that for steel, or I wouldn't have it. sounds amazing. Just
breaks my heart.
So you're like a Floyd Rose kind of
I-
thin wizard neck.
Listen, I
monkey grip.
there was a time. Oh, I
pointy
love
everything.
my main is an Iceman. That is my main
yeah.
that I use for every gig, for every band.
It's like a weird explorer almost.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a perfect explanation.
Yeah.
Weird
And
explanation.
I send it to him all the time because I know it pisses him off. I'll send him like funky looking guitars on
He
Marketplace.
sends you like the weird like bright 80s like Jackson or the Warlocks and stuff.
Love it.
I'm like, why do you want this? Because also like it's not. It wasn't then. I was there.
I remember. I don't know if I ever told you the story or even played you the song. The first guitar I bought with a Floyd on it. I bought it, ran home because I had a song I was working on that I was like, there would be a perfect spot for a dive bomb in here, and I ran home. I ran home through the project open and plugged right in, did one dive bomb, nailed it, and I said, perfect. And then I finished the song. I all I needed was that one dive bomb, and I bought it just so I could do that dive bomb.
That's the only reason I would ever have a Floyd Rose. I did have one. I had a Jackson Adrian Smith.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like the top tier. It was like the next tier down. And I had it for a couple of gigs and a couple of weeks. But when it came time to replace strings, I royally screwed it up. I had to take it into Tone Taylor's, shout out, to get a setup on the Floyd Rose.
Yeah.
And I can't deal with this.
No one's going to be as big a giant Kiss fan as Gene Simmons. But
fair.
Two guys in the entire history of the world that understand marketing, him and George Lucas.
Yeah, he's laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Like the joke all you want, if there's Kiss coffins. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no Star Wars coffins. George Lucas wasn't that smart.
I was just at the Galaxy's Edge.
I had planned to bring that up, but I kind of forgot about it until this came around.
I saw these lightsabers up here.
I'm a big old nerd of all things. But
I couldn't tell by the Captain America all over.
That's not nerdy. That's patriotic. So he's a war hero, and we respect those in this house.
I tell you what, I do respect though. I respect that gorgeous comic book that's hanging right next to your light switch there,
Mr. Melody. Yeah, because you wrote it.
Yeah, I know.
Nice. That's why. Yeah, how was that? I another friend of mine just like 2 weeks ago, went with his family, and now I'm hearing all these stories from people who have gone, and I really want to.
I'm not an amusement park person. It's just like overstimulation. I don't like roller coasters.
I don't
that kind of stuff.
dig that stuff either.
But we all have day jobs. My wife went down for a work conference down to Orlando, and so I took a couple of PTO days. I'm like, I'll go down, fun in the sun in October in Florida.
Why not?
Like,
get out of PA. Yeah.
So I went down there and I kind of just like wandered down to Disney World myself, and primarily for Galaxy's Edge. It was awesome. It's like you walk through the park and it's kind of old and dated until you get to the Star Wars section, and then you go through a tunnel and like everything changes. The sidewalk changes, the light fixtures, the trash cans, everything's like made to look like the Star Wars universe.
I've heard that you feel pretty immersed for what it is. My
immersive.
sister took her kids, my nephews there a year or two ago, and they were just sending me pictures and all that.
I didn't pilot the Millennium Falcon, but I was the gunner.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was some like 8-year-old girl was piloting the Millennium Falcon. We're bouncing off all the walls and stuff.
You need to be moved.
But,
I've heard nothing but good things if you're into it. Like Jake wouldn't know because he's never watched a complete Star Wars movie in his life.
I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
seriously.
I'm leaving right now.
I've watched one full Star Wars movie.
When was it? Was it
when?
Since I was really little.
Tell me it wasn't episode 1.
No, it wasn't episode 1. It was episode 3.
Oh, dude.
Oh, that's actually
Revenge of the Sith.
That's actually my top 3 Star Wars movies. Actually, people don't.
I watched it when
Rogue One is actually my favorite.
Good.
And then I'm an Empire guy because I'm old school, and I think Revenge of the Sith is right there. It has its flaws. They all do. We didn't think so. When I was a kid, I had the original trilogy. That's what we had. That's what we thought we were getting. And that's unfortunate.
Is it frustrating that like the original trilogy is not what you remembered, like from the DVD and Blu-ray versions? Like everything's
that doesn't bother me as much. Like I know all the tooling, it's fine. I get that George Lucas was trying to. This is what I wanted it to be, and I couldn't do it. He overdid it, and I hate that they.
He did overdo it.
I hate that they made that be like the Bible of this is what it is. And those don't exist anymore.
This is canon,
but they do exist. I have them, and I have those versions still. Yeah, I mean, but I've also grown to realize that that's just now everything from my childhood's getting rehashed.
Yeah.
he was the most egregious because it was his stuff that he went and rehashed. Most of it's just reboots by other people. No, he rebooted his own stuff. I was happy to be able to go see those movies in the theater again because I didn't see A New Hope in the theater. I was too young. I didn't see Empire either. I was still too young. I saw Jedi like 7 times, which I didn't realize was the weakest of the time. It was my favorite at the time.
When you're young, it's a great movie.
It was a great. The Ewoks were cool then. They're not cool. Luke was a Jedi. It was cool. This is a green lightsaber. This is so cool. It all seems very mundane now, but
so cool.
You don't. You just don't get it, dude. If you had the chance to really sit through it, I think your attitude would change. We've been talking about this for years now. Now I think it's a sticking point for you that you won't watch them.
Because, it's out of spite now.
Because the reaction you had was kind of what I had. I was like, "What? Get out of my house!" Like, what do you mean? How can you not casually have seen a Star Wars movie?
Yeah,
right? They're all over the place. And you're like, I did when I was 2 months old.
So,
like,
and I've made so many attempts to watch episode 4. I don't know. I don't know why I can't sit through it. Because I love the characters. I love the story. I love everything.
I can't sit through that movie because it was made in the 70s and
it's 77. I think.
It's not. It doesn't hold up to modern viewing if you didn't grow up in the culture.
But like, not even that, because like some of my favorite movies are from the same time period. But I don't know. Like, I love the characters. I think they're cool. Like, I think Star Wars is cool, but like.
Are you convincing yourself? You're convincing yourself, Russ. I'm gonna get that as a soundbite. That's gonna be your ringtone. If I actually turn my ringer on, that would be your ringtone.
But like, I don't know. I just can't bring myself to sit there and watch a full one from start to finish. And it's not, like I said, it's not because I don't like it. But
I've tried to understand. I think again, I don't think it's because I think it's because you're not invested in. I was as a child.
Yes.
And I have friends that I've met now over the years that are younger than me. That the prequel trilogy was their Star Wars. And I understand how that was, like, those movies are good to them because that's what they started with.
Formative years.
Then they watched the other one. They watched them in movie order, chronological order, technically.
Yeah, whatever you call that.
Yeah, technically they watched them in order of the story.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Which isn't the right order anyway. I believe that whole watch 1 and 2 till you get to the reveal, and then you go back and watch.
There's a name for that.
Yeah,
there's
some.
It up
yeah,
or something.
yeah, and then go back and finish Empire, and then watch the rest.
Yeah.
But I think if you didn't grow up on it, it's hard to find it.
And you know that
makes you start with the old ones first. If you watch them in order, it might make more sense.
I had that cool uncle who was like way older than me, and he had a room, and he had like a snake and a TV in his room, and I was this little kid. I was like, "Whoa, this guy's cool." And episode one was playing on that tiny little like 12-inch TV.
Yep.
So that's where
that's also find yourself an old CRT TV and watch it on that because that's grainy and you look for mistakes. It's awesome.
Audio's all warbly.
I have the VHS somewhere of the unaltered movies somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a VHS player anymore, but I have them stored away. Like I have copies of what those movies were supposed to be.
I had the original too.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. Like I can agree with what you said. Like that's what people grew up on. Like from a young age, they watched those movies, and so they have like a deeper connection with those movies. I can agree with that because for me, those movies like that I have like a deep connection with are the MCU movies because.
I also have a deep connection with them too, but
because
like reasons. I get that
because I would say like I started from phase 1 of the MCU where it was the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, First Avenger, and so like watching it all kind of form, those I have a deep connection to.
Yeah, they grabbed you young. I mean, we roll our eyes, but I mean it's no different than what happened when we were.
No,
young,
yeah, it's
when
the
you
truth.
were young and when I was young, it's just time passes.
I forget. I forget the age.
So.
Difference too. Sometimes I forget that he's young.
It's
enough to be my
happening
son.
right now with 5, 6, 7-year-old.
But then what I tell you, you have to watch today.
Oh, was it? Oh, K-pop something
Demon
and another.
Hunter.
I would have let it go. I didn't need to watch it. I just had time Sunday.
Is that because of Cover Band Confidential?
Yes, because
I heard them mention it. I gave it 5 minutes and I turned it off.
They were the last of many things that I listened to. Guys my age and younger are like, you know what? This turns out, and I'm an animation guy. I mean, I wanted to do that in former life. Like, I'm clearly into that life. And I'm like, all right, I don't think it's a movie for me, but I keep hearing about this. And as a musician, I keep hearing about how like good these songs are.
Is that the
for
Soda Pop song?
all of them. And actually, I'm not into any of that style of pop music at all. But they really are maybe some of the best written pop songs I've heard since Huey Lewis. Like they are incredibly well done. They're not for me, but they're infectious.
And that's okay to say.
Yep.
It's not for me.
They're not for
And
me.
that's okay.
Well, it is. That I understand why that movie was so huge, why those songs were chart toppers, and why people are so into it. It was extremely well done. It wasn't just I assumed, again, it was just some tween girl movie, and I was like, I like slick animation, so I'll give it a chance. Those guys that said how the action scenes came out well, I'm like, I like to see it animated well. That could have been a live action movie and would have been a legit $1 billion movie. Like, it's really that good. But that's a movie for young kids. That's going to be somebody's Star Wars. If they continue with
That's
that,
fair.
there's going to be some young girl or some young boy, whatever, that those movies are going to be ones they saw at 5 years old and they just latched onto their whole life as long as they're available. Now, I don't know if there's anything that long lasting anymore because we can't see the future. We can't know there's going to be another Star Wars.
It doesn't feel like that anymore.
No. Things are pretty much made to order and the attention spans aren't there. But if there are long lasting properties, that could be something in the same vein.
Yeah.
It wasn't made for me, but I respect it.
Do you go to the movie theaters or is it all home?
I go to the movie theater. Mostly MCU movies anymore. That was a thing with my family, my wife, my son. We would go to all those movies, and then
Now he takes his adopted son to go with.
we skipped a couple. I got away from a couple, but I try to hit the tentpole stuff, and I still like to see a movie from time to time in the theater. But it has to be something really worth my time. Currently, because I'm a big nerd, I'm really, really desperately trying to convince my wife it's a good idea to go see the new Predator movie because that's something from my childhood that I just kept, even though they're not all great, but all I hear is how very good this movie is, doing very well, and I want to see it, but I know she has zero interest, and I'm not going to go sit in the theater by myself. So that's going to end up more than likely waiting.
I've done it.
I was just saying, I've done it. I
don't think I have since I was a teenager.
I went and saw Spider-Man No Way. What was the last one? No Way Home, where they did the reunion with.
There's been so many Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
I saw that Christmas night.
By yourself?
Yes, because I was like,
good movie.
I was like,
It's a
everyone's.
little weirder than just like a Tuesday night.
Well, it was like,
I'm so tired of my family.
Well, like the family like called it early that night, that Christmas, and it was like everyone's tired. It was like 6, and I was like, oh, you guys are calling.
A long day.
I was like, y'all are calling it already? Like it's 6, and then I was like, all right, screw y'all. I'm going to the movies and watching Spider-Man, and so I went and watched Spider-Man by myself.
And you had a great time, right?
I had a blast,
There you go.
dude.
Well,
Who
yeah.
cares?
Yep. You got to enjoy it. You do theaters. I mean,
I do. Yeah, for a while there, I thought like I wasn't going to go back. Like I enjoy my big flat screen TV at home.
Yeah, you can watch them pretty nice at home these days, but
But you know what?
it's the experience.
Yeah, it's experiment.
I mean, I grew up on theaters too, so
And the popcorn.
oh yeah, you just can't make that at home.
Got
No,
a point
you cannot.
there.
I've tried.
Cannot make it at home the
Right.
same. I can make popcorn, but not movie theater popcorn. It just doesn't exist. That's a big sell for my wife. I'm like, hey, you want to go see a movie? What? There's popcorn. All right, we'll go.
You got to get Flavacol. It's called
Yes, dude, you know about that.
Flavacol.
I have it in my pantry.
I don't know.
I mean,
what that
you
is.
probably can eat it, but
That's like the salt that they put on it.
yeah.
Well, the
You need
salt's
oil too.
salt's not the problem. I mean, besides sodium, it's sugar for me, bro. It's sugar. Diabetic.
I don't know. You don't eat anything now. That's why you're so damn skinny.
You know? I mean, a year ago this time I was slightly heavier.
Yeah, go watch last year.
Like 50
last year at this
pounds
time,
heavier.
go watch last year and watch how it flipped because I was way skinnier and you were way heavier, and then we
You took all my
switched. Now you're
pounds.
fucking skinny and I'm fat. So,
That's why I can't wrestle anymore.
that's why I ring it. That's why I ring announce.
How do you guys deal with bar food at gigs? Are you eating it?
I don't eat.
Not doing it.
I don't unless it's like somewhere
Fries, chicken tenders, you know?
and I don't really eat any of that stuff anymore because I mean this whole diabetic thing was something I found out last December. So my entire diet and life has changed in the last year completely. But otherwise I grab chicken tenders, something quick.
Yep.
I try to eat before I go to gigs now.
Same.
It's lame, but like a banana
there's-
before the gig, great.
There's a couple
Yeah.
of things. I don't like eating right before a gig. Like I can eat.
Yep.
Let's say I have to leave at 5 for a 7
You're a
o'clock
singer
gig.
too. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have to. worry
I'll
about
eat
that,
maybe at 5 when I leave the house because I have a couple hours, but I'm not going to get to a gig, sit up, have 20 minutes and eat. There's a rare occasion where I'm like, I haven't eaten today. Like I missed something. I'm like, I got to eat before I go on or I won't make it.
Yeah.
but then it does kind of. But then I'll get like a salad. Yeah, it depends on where the place is, I would say. But I generally don't eat right before a gig either way. I try to have something on the way to the show or before I leave the house, and again, a banana, something small.
Yep.
Mostly energy drinks.
Yeah, I've done. Yeah, play zombie because we feel like zombies.
Yes. You guys want to know how we feel today? Here you go.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that was a rough time.
Yeah. Have you ever done a brunch gig, like morning gig?
Oh yeah, I've done a 7:30 in the morning gig.
7:30.
I had to, in DC. I had to do.
I was thinking like 10 a.m. But
No,
Yeah.
I had to do we did there was a marathon. They closed down basically
Oh,
downtown
I remember you
DC,
telling me this. Yeah.
like past the monuments, all that, and it's this big thing. 30,000 people sign up for this and race or run, and we were set up on the course. We had to be there at 5:30 in the morning, so we had to leave York at 3:30 to make sure we were there on time.
what are you playing at 7:30?
Our usual set, and at the time it was all party music. This was 15, 20 years ago. We played nonstop.
All right, this is my own worst enemy.
We didn't take a break. They wanted to we took time between songs. We never really took a full break. And as the runners came, we started playing and just played. So there wasn't all those people in front of us, but for 3 hours, 2.5 hours, we played to 30,000 people. I've told that story many times. I technically played to 30,000 people, just not at once. Same day, not all at once, but we had to be set up and playing at 7:30 a.m. because that's when the race started or the marathon started.
That's wild. I've never. Heard
I've done a 10 a.m. gig before, but that was like an acoustic thing. Nowadays, I'm like, what's three shows one weekend? What's 3 in one? I've done 3 in one day. I did 1 week. I did 5 shows in 3 days. Like,
I think I've done 4 in a weekend. I think Allie asked me one time if we could squeeze in a 5th, and I thought about it. My instinct was to say yes, and then I was like, you know what? I think I hit my limit.
Yeah. That I don't think
I'm
I've done
finding my hand starts cramping up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
that, and that's the end of it. Yeah, I actually had to start
Damn
taking.
bar chords.
I had to start taking supplements because my hands cramping up playing it, and I do play bar chords. That's it.
You know what gig I always think of that was like an afternoon one that to me sucked, but was also kind of fun. That one you had set it up for me. I think it was around this time too. That Doug, it was like Doug's daughter's friend was doing this benefit thing.
Right.
And it was like a 12 to 2 gig. No problem. It was the next day. And
2 hours. Check.
yeah, no worries. And they're like, it's with this girl. I was like, never heard of this lady in a day in my life. She's a singer. Okay, cool. We got in touch with each other, and like she sent me her list of songs. I sent her my list of songs, and we just kind of made like a half-assed 2-hour set. But then the caveat to this whole thing that wasn't described to me was that it was outside. In
What month are we talking about?
this, this had to be January.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was outside, and the one thing that I hate.
On an enclosed patio with heaters.
Nope.
No.
This was in front of someone's house.
Hands for 2 hours trying to play guitar.
And the one thing that
Wow.
also wasn't specified to me was it was on a fucking horse farm. And
he is terrified of horses.
I hate horses.
He's terrified.
And so
of them. You can't even talk. You can't even joke that you're going to turn to a horse farm. He's like, no,
dude,
get out.
I showed up and I was like, this is at a fucking horse farm. And they're all trotting
It's
around.
like
and-
Indiana Jones with snakes. Like,
yeah, dude,
100%.
I hate horses so much.
Are you creeped out, or you
Which
just
he-
gonna get
I just
kicked in
get
the chest,
I
or
just
what?
get uneasy around them because they're so big.
He's, by the way, he's really understands that reference, but not Star Wars. It's anyway.
Okay.
But it's just the size of them. They're just too big, and they can stay the fuck over there. They're cool, like they're cool from afar, but they could stay over there. But anyway, I show up to this gig.
Oh, boy.
I'm already miserable because I'm at a fucking horse farm, and then it's cold. And normally I'm one to like the cold, and I'm standing out there with the fingerless gloves on to try and make something work. And this lady, she was so nice, and she had like the best intentions, but she brought this space heater out, and I was like, "What are you gonna do? Heat the earth?" Like,
Yeah, well, it's just like
it
goes out
was
into
all
the ether.
it was all outside, open. Like I said, we were standing in front of someone's front door. So like,
What are you playing for $50?
she actually paid us half decent money
All
to
right,
do
nice.
this.
All
Like, so I wasn't
can't
gonna.
feel my hands, but like I can hold the money.
Yeah, so like I wasn't gonna complain about it, but I was like, "Damn, I'm cold, and these horses need to get away from me."
Yeah.
And I'm playing, and I hear, going past me. I was
Just
like,
creeping up
I
behind.
hated every second of that so
Well,
bad.
well,
Yeah.
I never played anything that late in the year outside. I've done October gigs where they
Done October. Where it
October
got pretty
gigs
cold.
it got cold out of like that
Or
week.
when we
It's
did,
warm, it's great,
like-
and all of a sudden that night you're like, ah,
Well, we have one of those coming up. Was that
Well,
next Sunday?
oh,
Not this
yeah,
coming
that-
Sunday, but the following.
that last year. Well, we did that in
we still-
December. We're doing an outdoor Christmas thing in Shaperstown,
Tree lighting.
and it will be cold.
Have fun.
But last year we did it like mid-December, and it was pretty damn cold. They had heat, and they had like torpedo heaters on.
Yeah.
It was helpful, but it was not great. Hopefully, it doesn't stay as cold as it's been. But it's going to be after dark. We're playing 5 to 7. It's going to kill us.
Listen, this is my favorite show of the year
Because
because
it's Christmas music. Because I have to learn Christmas music.
one, it's Christmas music, and two, it is literally a block from my house.
That's right. It's my hometown. If I really didn't want to drive back to York, I just go to my mother's and stay there. But I'm going to go home this Sunday. But yeah, I don't particularly enjoy that. I've done shows where I was just the singer and it got cold, and at the point where like I'm like holding my mic on my stand and my hands are starting to cramp up.
Like your guitars are like not staying in tune.
No, yeah, it's not ideal. There's a Ghostlight store from where I joined, and used to tell me they did one where they had to do like full on gloves, and they didn't know, and it ended up being like in the low 40s while they were playing, and they did the gig, but they're like it was sounded terrible. We couldn't. I'm like, why didn't you just tell them you had to go? Like that's unhealthy to play in that kind of weather. Like,
I like to think I just wouldn't book that in the first place, but
well, the October gigs is a hit or miss.
October, yeah.
Because you could book a Halloween gig outside or some an outdoor party in February. Hey, I'm going to play Halloween, and it could be 70 degrees because we don't know.
I remember some Halloweens where kids are out trick or treating, like everyone's sweating.
Yeah.
It's warm.
Yeah.
We're in Pennsylvania. There's an odd chance that tomorrow it could be 90 degrees, and then it'll be freezing on Saturday. Who knows?
Yeah. We're doing this. The roommates are going up to Birdie's Inn up in Exeter, PA, which is outside of Reading.
I've heard of Birdies. I don't know.
It's probably
why.
well from here.
Where's it at?
Exeter.
Exeter. It's just outside of Reading, PA. It's a big deck, and on a beautiful evening, it's fun. But like we're playing in December, and it's an outside deck, but they put the plastic sheeting,
Right.
down,
Mhm.
heaters. And
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. But it depends on how many bodies are in there too. That's all.
they had us play on a Penn State whiteout game night,
Ooh.
which was kind of awkward. It's like, okay, cool. Players come out. We all wore white shirts. And
But
stuff.
they're not there to see you.
And then they rolled out this humongous TV, which is right next to where we were set up as a band. And like the TV was muted, and it's like, they really want us to play cover music in front of the game?
I love using whenever we've played places that have like there's like playoffs and stuff on, because whenever someone's like screaming for the game happening, I'm like, I'm just gonna assume that was for us. Thank you.
Yep.
Like every time we've played during March Madness. We actually played through the NBA Finals one time. We played during one of the World Series runs in the Phillies were in at Riverside.
Yeah, I
Out on
remember
the
that.
deck, and people were just, I'd hear people going, yeah.
It's
I'm like,
like
either the Phils did well or you guys loved that song. Thank you.
You're like halfway through the middle of verse 1 or something, and everyone starts exploding.
Yep.
And it's like,
Thanks.
okay.
Thanks. I didn't know we were that good. Yeah, it's
But
a weird
it
experience.
can add an element of fun, especially if
Yeah.
the end of the gig's like synced up with the end of the game, kind of.
And if they won,
Yes.
if the team everyone's rooting for won, if they
Yes.
didn't, it can change the vibe very quickly. And if they're getting blown out, everybody goes home. Sports can really affect music a lot when you're playing in front of it like that. It makes a weird gig, but again, like you said, it can actually make for a cool experience. It really, and a
then
good story.
Everyone wants to party and have fun.
Yep. Party's always good for bands that are playing music that you want them to party to.
Yes.
No, because if they're not partying, you might not be as entertaining as you think you are. I have personal experience in these things.
Oh, yes.
We should probably wrap it up. I'm sure my wife would like for me to quiet the house up. Now, where
Thanks
can
for
everybody
having me
find you and your projects online?
Online, that's easy. MillennialMixtape.net and theroommateband.com. Theroommatesband.com.
Excellent. And that leads you
Roommates
to all-
plural, correct?
The roommates.
Yes,
Yeah.
roommates.
That leads you to
One
all
M.
the webs. Their websites lead you to all things social then too. I assume.
Or I'm sure when this podcast comes out and Nailed It Facebook page.
Oh yeah, it'll
on
be
there,
we'll have
sure
the
we'll
links.
have
It'll be all there.
The links and
then-
everything will be there when this gets loaded up. Yeah, and there'll be links in the comments and whatnot.
Yeah, go catch Millennial Mixtape. Go catch The Roommates. Go catch Ghostlight Radio Show. I don't know if your Breaking Benjamin band is playing.
Once a year, and
Once
that's
a
not.
year.
And we've already played once this year, so
All right, so next year.
yeah, it's coming. Actually, it might we're in the works to do something the first weekend of January if it goes through, but I don't have a confirmation on that yet. You didn't hear it from me, folks, until I get someone telling me that it's happening. But we're working on a show at Capital City Music Hall, which we haven't been able to do yet.
I'm hoping to get in there at some point.
So it'll probably be a pretty good.
Yeah,
it'll be a good lineup if as it stands. It's going to be Y2 Kids doing Lincoln Park and Stricken.
Sweet.
If we can get it, if the date's clear, it's the only date we all have clear. So I'm hoping that happens because
I'd love to come catch that show.
It could very well be the only show that Next to Nothing plays next year. I hope not, but I'd like to play more. We have some holes in our Ghostlight show scheduled next year that I could fill, but we'll see. I mean, that's also time I can do other things too. So, but yeah, it'll be very linked to get to where you're at, and I have in fact seen your band now, so I did enjoy myself. I would like to see Millennial sometime. I think that's my jam. That kind of music's my jam.
Yeah, we're unrolling some new changes for 2026.
You got anything on the schedule now?
Like
coming up this late in December or
no,
November?
Not for the rest of this
rest
year.
Of the year.
But, I mean, you never know. Sometimes things just drop in your lap.
But nothing planned.
Nothing planned.
What about Roommates? That's still tight.
Roommates, yeah, we have maybe 8 gigs between now and the end of December.
We have 4.
We have 4 left and several duo and solo gigs. But
at the Valley Tavern, just the duo this weekend.
Oh, of course, we got shows all weekend. I'm playing there Thanksgiving Eve with Dave. Yeah,
and I top of my head, I can't think of where I'm playing the following weekends.
That's what the website's for.
I know.
That's what the pricey websites are for.
Yeah.
So cool, excellent. Well, we appreciate you coming out, dude. We should do this again.
Yeah.
We
totally down.
I absolutely enjoy. We've said this many times when we have a guest and we just can have a conversation. No one's being interviewed. We're just telling stories and having a good time, and clearly we can go nearly 3 hours on conversation. So I'll take it. So you have anything to add, sir?
Do we have anything coming up?
Nothing that's gonna be before we air this.
Yeah, I would say the only other thing is a show in the works, but it's not for months away.
Well, yeah,
I got something for like a May gig work for Listexia, but other than that,
CPMAs.
There's
3 gentlemen in this room that are looking for your help, folks. We could use the help.
I have a flyer hanging up in work of all of the coworkers that are eligible for nominations.
It may not get us on the ballot, but it goes a long way to get us on the ballot. And
you'll be on the ballot.
I don't need to win, but I don't mind being nominated.
Help Nailed It the podcast become 3-time award nominated podcast.
And we said this. I said this last year. I even said to people who asked, "What will you do if you actually win?" Because they kind of ask people that at big awards. I'm like, I would go up there and say, "This goes to someone else," because we did not. I love what we do in this podcast. We have a great time. If you're winning awards for podcasts, there were guys who deserved it. And actually, our friend Dave Gates won it last year. There are guys
who
deserved. They were well deserved. I was just happy to be in the class and be there. And I think that's where we're at. We do this for fun. We're not trying to win awards.
Get all of our friends and peers in the same room together.
Which never happens. Yeah. That was a great.
Because we're all out busy.
And that was your first one, you said?
Yeah, that was my first one.
See, that was our second.
I wasn't at last year.
Oh, you didn't go. Yeah. The second one, but I that was the first time they'd done it in Lancaster. So it was a completely different vibe.
Oh, that's right. They did do it in Lancaster. I forgot about that. We were herded into that lobby, which wasn't meant for that. There was no. Whereas when they were doing it in Hershey, there were places to go.
I never went to the Hershey one.
Hershey one
was cool.
Nice
in Hershey.
It sounds like they might be doing it somewhere else this year, but they haven't really said for sure. Okay. They're working out something else.
I think you guys wherever they host it.
Oh yeah,
we'll be there.
We'll
be there. I'm hoping Ghost Lake
even
gets
if you don't get nominated, right? You're gonna go crash the party.
Well, I hope Ghost Lake gets on the ballot this year.
Yeah.
The band. I'm the longest standing member now, and I've only been in the band a little over 4 years, but the band's been around 13 years. That deserves some kind of recognition. I think because our peers in the industry, as you will, that have been around, the Screaming Daisies and Smooth Like Clydes, they are amazing bands, and they deserve the awards they get, but they've been doing it as long as we have, maybe longer. This band should get, I feel that the recognition, I want people to understand this band is out there. Yeah. I think it's a push that no one in Ghostlight Radio Show before I was in the band gave a damn about. That was not what they were, and that's not what I'm after. But I don't think it wasn't a thing then either. Like I think it's something we should at least try to get recognized for. I don't need awards. Awards are cool, but it'd be nice for people to understand we're out there, you know. And I think that should be for anybody that's being nominated for. It'd be nice to be in that group of people that puts you in a different just for booking alone.
Yeah.
Suddenly
it's a
there's
good marketing tool.
you're an award nominated or award winning if it goes that way. That goes a long way. So, but we'll see how it goes. We got time. That's open until December 22nd for the fan submissions.
Yep.
And then they go through there, and in January, I think, or February, they announce the actual
nominees
and the ballots go up, I think, because the awards in March.
You ever see those memes? It's like winter is coming.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, CPMA is coming.
Yep,
Like,
sure is.
brace for all the posts from all the bands.
I was hitting it pretty good there. I'm going to continue to do so. I don't self-campaign much because, again, I don't need it. It's cool. We were very shocked that we got the 2 noms we did for the show. But
I remember waking up to your text and being like, yo, we got nominated. And I was like, what are you talking
I
about?
gotta buy a jacket.
He's like, there's a podcast
yeah,
category.
I literally did. I'm like, I got to go buy something to wear. Can't just wear my jeans and T-shirts every year.
I'm pretty sure I wore jeans and a button down.
I wore jeans and a T-shirt, but I bought a coat. I wore a blazer.
That's right. You did wear a blazer.
And my backwards hat because that's our thing for this show.
Yeah, and I wore the bandana.
I'll be damned. It's a bunch of musicians. I don't need to get dressed to the nines. I can, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, kind of ran the gamut from what I saw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was definitely some people that were looking for best dressed, and the guy that hosts the thing, I always forget his name. He every year he is in like the most amazing suits. Last year he was like all that's like sequins. And it was like completely blinged out. We saw him at the pre-show thing at the Hershey one the year before. Comes strolling in, we're all having a beer, and here he comes in this ridiculously like over-colored suit. I'm like, oh, he knows what's going on. He knows what he's doing. So anyway, we went on little tangential there. So once again, we've had a good episode. This will be airing shortly. Everybody will be able to check you out where you're at, and definitely go see his band, folks. Any of his bands, but I do highly recommend it. I mean, we tell you to come see us all the time, yes. But if that's everything, nothing from you, nothing from me, we're
Jake,
good.
Bob, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, dude,
absolutely.
Appreciate you coming out, man. And again, not only should we do this again, maybe we'll have to. We've been talking for years about doing like live broadcast, showing up somebody's show, doing quick interviews and clipping them out. Maybe we'll do that. We'll ambush you one time for it while you're trying to say, "Hey, how you doing tonight?"
Yeah, you guys have a good vibe. I appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We try to be as authentic as we can. It's just two guys.
It's literally the reason we started it.
That's the best way to do it.
Two bandmates and friends that got something to say. Sometimes it's music. Sometimes just randomly talking about what car we saw on the street, some idiot driver, whatever it is. So we do appreciate that, man. I appreciate that people notice. So anything else? Once again, I'm Bob.
I'm Jake.
I'm Andrew.
And we are
Nailed It the Podcast.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you.
See you.
Nailed it.
God, I am the old man in this room.